Chapter 177, Chapter 177, Earth Bloodline. Chapter 177, Earth Bloodline. As Ling Tianfeng finished his sentence, his gaze fell on Li Ling Tian. The 7 great powerhouses of Sky Dragon Empire were already in Sky Dragon City. Li Ling Tian was the only one who could provide support, but he did not wish for Li Ling Tian to do so. Instead, they hoped that Li Ling Tian would hide and restore Sky Dragon Empire after he became stronger. After all, Li Ling Tian was Sky Cloud Sect's hope. However, when she thought of Li Ling Tian's abilities, she had to ask for his opinion. You guys cultivate in peace. 1 foot 11 inches handled this matter. He didn't cherish the opportunity one gave him. Since he wants to cause trouble, 1 foot 11 inches give him a great destruction. With a cruel smile on his face, Li Ling Tian turned around and left the Divine Cloud Palace. When he left, a jade slip flew toward Ling Tian Peak. 1 foot 11 inches do anything to get these materials. 1 foot 11 inches take as many as one can. After Li Ling Tian left the Divine Cloud Palace, his calm voice was heard. The few martial arts grandmasters and martial kings were puzzled as they did not know what was inside the jade slip. After returning to Tianyu Peak, Li Ling Tian went to Xue Da's place to take a look. He was shocked by Xue Da's cultivation speed as he had already reached Tier 6 Warrior King. I didn't expect your cultivation speed to be so terrifying. Li Ling Tian replied with a smile. With a flick of his divine perception, he scanned Xue Da's body. However, he was stunned. There was a mysterious aura emanating from Xue Da's body that even Li Ling Tian's divine perception could not detect. I've already activated the Earth Bloodline. Xue Da chuckled. He had been using Li Ling Tian's elixirs all this while. Ever since Li Ling Tian started refining elixirs, he had never been short of elixirs. Even if he had elixirs, it was not enough to make him this insane. It turned out that when he reached the Martial King realm, he had actually activated the Earth Bloodline in his body. This bloodline was extremely magical and was even more powerful than a super Earth-type genius. Earth Bloodline. Li Ling Tian was shocked. He did not expect Xue Da to possess the Earth Bloodline. Bloodline was the same as Martial's soul, but it was more mystical than Martial's soul. With such a bloodline, it was not difficult to cultivate. For example, Little White's dragon blood, Tang Qingyue's yin body, Tang Zimeng's mystic spirit body, and Nangong Mingyue's heavenly phoenix body. If not for your peerless medicinal pill, I would not have been able to activate the Earth Bloodline. Xue Da's face revealed a look of gratitude. A glimmer of light flashed in his eyes, and then disappeared. The two of them talked for a long time. After a few years, they still missed the time when they were still martial artists. Finally, Li Ling Tian returned to the Tianyu Pavilion. Before he left, he gave Xue Da all his Tier 4 purple jade pills, a few heaven-defying pills, 1,000,000 spiritual stones, and a few supreme-grade profound armaments. Li Ling Tian told them about his trip to Sky Dragon City at the Sky Pavilion. I'm going to Sky Dragon City. Do you guys want to go and have some fun? Li Ling Tian said with a smile. With the two empires joining forces and the powerhouses from the 4 mysterious families, Sky Dragon Empire was basically doomed. However, this was in a situation where he had not appeared. With his strength and methods, it would be easy for him to resolve the crisis of Sky Dragon Empire. Yes, of course I have to go. The 4 girls answered at the same time. They had been worried sick when Li Ling Tian went to the Heavenly Devil Canyon for more than a year. Now that Sky Dragon City was under siege and their family members were inside, they naturally had to go. Then let's go. Li Ling Tian smiled. In a place like Green Island, he had nothing to be afraid of as a martial arts grandmaster. Unless it was a super martial emperor or a super strong expert, he would not be worried. However, in Green Continent, he only met Shimen Xian, the leader of Northern Yin cult. Shimen Xian was a 6th-level martial emperor. Even this Type 6 expert was killed by the silver-winged flying dragon. On the surface, it seemed like nothing mattered, but in his heart, he knew that some super experts were hiding. This world was not that peaceful. It was just that he did not realize it at the moment. Last time on Demonic Mountain, when he had just left the Heavenly Devil Canyon, he had suffered a destructive attack. Just this clone alone had almost destroyed him. He was glad that he had been reborn in Green Island, which had brought him new life and hope. During this period of time, he would have to search through the Azure Continent. Only then would he have the capital to develop when he went to the Azure Continent. The strong were destined to have a powerful stage, and Green Island was destined not to be his ultimate goal. The huge spaceship quickly left Skycloud's sect and flew towards Sky Dragon City. Just as the spaceship left Skycloud's sect for 1,000 miles, it was obstructed by powerhouses. However, they were able to blast Li Lingtian's spaceship away. Sky Dragon Empire had fallen, and all the cities had fallen. Only Sky Dragon City had not been taken down. Other places, including the 4 major sects, were also surrounded by experts. The higher-ups have already given the order to take down Sky Dragon City within 3 days. Otherwise, you will bear the consequences. In the Imperial Palace of Tianjin Empire, a black-robed warrior said coldly. His tone was completely commanding, and he did not even put the Emperor of Tianjin Empire, Tian Hanyu, in his eyes. The black-robed martial artist's entire body emitted a mysterious aura. This aura made people feel uncomfortable. Don't worry, emissary. Sky Dragon Empire promises to conquer it within 3 days. One hope you will remember our agreement then. The Emperor of Tianjin Empire, Tian Hanyu, was displeased. However, he was bound to be strong. The other party was not someone he could provoke. He had already boarded the pirate ship. It was impossible for him to come down now. Of course, my lord will not forget this agreement. However, if we cannot take down Sky Dragon City within 3 days, then your Tianjin Empire and the Southern Mountain Empire will be destroyed. After the black-clothed martial artist finished speaking, a ball of black gas appeared and his body disappeared in the air, as if this person had never appeared. After the black-robed martial artist left, the palace hall fell silent. No one spoke. On the left side of the hall sat 6 super experts, each of whom was a 6th-level martial emperor. On the right side were 6 experts, who were also 6th-level martial emperors. If someone saw the cultivation of these warriors, they would definitely be shocked. There must be something big going on when 12 6th-level martial emperors gathered in the palace of Tianjin Empire. Moreover, these 12 martial monarch powerhouses were not from the same force. 4 of them were from the 4 mysterious families, and the other 4 were the super powerhouses of the Southern Mountain Empire. The remaining 4 were the super experts of Tianjin Empire. Beside Tian Hanyu, there was a 7th-level martial emperor. These powerhouses were actually respectful towards a black-clothed martial artist, not daring to have the slightest bit of dissatisfaction. Is it wrong for us to do this? After a long time, Tian Hanyu spoke indifferently. His body exuded the aura of a superior. This was the aura of a strong person that belonged to the Emperor of Tianjin Empire. As an emperor, he was also a 5th-level martial emperor. Your Majesty is right. The consequences of luring a wolf into the house are unimaginable. I've never understood why they need Sky Dragon City and not the capital cities of Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire. Moreover, they actually offered such a huge bargaining chip to attack Sky Dragon Empire. Although we have gained a lot of benefits, if we let the wolf into the house and it backfires, Green Island will be finished. The Supreme Elder of the Southern Mountain Empire's 10,000 Flower Valley, New Zealand, was known as the #1 expert in the Southern Mountain Empire. His strength was insanely strong. Among martial artists of the same level, he could be said to be unrivaled. As a rank 6 martial emperor, his strength was close to that of a rank 7 martial emperor. Even if the South Mountain Empire and Tianjin Empire joined forces this time, he would still be the #2 figure. We're all in the same boat now. What else can we do? Do you want us to withdraw our troops? If we do that, we'll be laughed at by the world and looked down upon by the people of Sky Dragon Empire. Moreover, they only want Sky Dragon City. We'll split Sky Dragon Empire in the future. The resources they promised us can allow our two empires to nurture a large number of martial emperors. There might even be martial honors. We can only gamble this time. The 7th level martial emperor beside Tian Hanyu had his eyes closed the whole time. When he heard Yu Zealand's words, he opened his eyes, and his eyes shone brightly. Sky Dragon Empire didn't have many resources, but what the other party promised could greatly increase the strength of the two empires. Moreover, they could also have the chance to become martial honors. Your two empires have taken too much advantage of our 4 great families. We only hope that they won't break the agreement. My Gongsun family only needs 2 6th-grade Skymender pills. Gongsun Nanyu of the Gongsun family, one of the 4 mysterious families, said coldly. Even the empire didn't dare to provoke a mysterious family. No one knew what kind of powerful existence such a family had. The Skymender pill can indeed help a martial emperor break through to the martial honored realm. The main thing is to let them fulfill their promise. Sky Dragon Empire is currently under siege. As long as we give the order, Sky Dragon City will be breached. Once Sky Dragon City is breached, we will be in charge of guarding it. If they don't hand over the Skymender pill, Sky Dragon City will not be handed over to them. Bai Mingyu's expression didn't change at all. When she spoke, she was like a zombie. Similarly, one of the 4 mysterious families was the Bai Ming family. That's a good idea. Let's take action. Sky Dragon City has 16 martial emperors, all of whom are rank 4 martial emperors. They are more than enough to deal with Sky Dragon Empire. Wang Yuga said loudly. The Wang family was one of the 4 mysterious families. They had existed before Sky Dragon Empire. Alright, since we've made our move, there's no turning back. Pass down my order. We'll take down Sky Dragon Empire. All of you head to Sky Dragon City as well. Keep an eye on them. Don't get ahead of us. Tian Hanyu pondered for a while and nodded. Tianjin Empire was 1,000,000 miles away from Sky Dragon City. Even a martial emperor would need 2 days to go there. After passing down the order, more than a dozen martial emperors also rushed to Sky Dragon City. They had better not miscalculate this time when they attacked Sky Dragon City despite the strict rules of the Holy Capital and the Immortal Palace. Sky Dragon Empire, the entire empire had fallen. If Sky Dragon City was conquered, Sky Dragon Empire would become history. They all understood that Sky Dragon Empire was completely finished this time. The super experts of the 10 great families and the 4 great sects were all in Sky Dragon Empire. Chapter 178, Chapter 178, Shock and Anticipation. Chapter 178, Shock and Anticipation. The 7 martial emperors were also in Sky Dragon City. However, this time, there were tens of millions of troops from Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire. There were also 200 martial arts grandmasters and 16 martial emperors. Regardless of whether it was the experts or the troops, they were several times more than Sky Dragon City. Tens of millions of soldiers surrounded Sky Dragon City tightly. The earth-shaking aura and the aura of experts tore through space. In the sky above Sky Dragon City, the sound of space tearing could be heard everywhere. Only Sky Dragon City was extremely quiet. A shocking array covered Sky Dragon City. Even a martial emperor's attack could not break through this grand array. Above Sky Dragon City, there were millions of soldiers. Nearly 100 martial arts grandmasters and 7 martial emperors had solemn expressions on their faces. These martial emperors and martial grandmasters were all gathered from the various forces of Sky Dragon Empire. Otherwise, there would not be so many martial grandmasters and martial emperors. Brother Lai, Brother Cheng, Brother Qing, do you have any countermeasures? Zhao Wenjian, the Grand Elder of the Grand Brightness sect, looked at the few martial emperors beside him with a bitter expression. As martial artists and citizens of the Sky Dragon Empire, they could not help but unite in the face of the destruction of the empire. If Sky Dragon Empire was gone, their sect would naturally be gone as well. Even if they were not killed, they would have to bear the reputation of a slave of a subjugated country. Here, the 10 great clans and 4 great sects had gathered together, but none of them could think of a solution. Whether it was the army or the martial artists, Sky Dragon Empire was already at a disadvantage. Now that Sky Dragon City had not been breached, it was only because of the national sealing array. At most, we'll fight to the death. Since they want to destroy my heavenly dragon, we'll destroy them as well. Lai Xingchuan, the Grand Elder of the Green Jade sect, was emitting a terrifying aura of flames. Warriors who cultivated fire martial souls had a bad temper. Facing so many experts, they could only hide here. Don't worry. The power of the nation's sealing formation is so strong that even all of them at the martial royal realm can't break it. I've already sent a message with my secret skill. One believe he should have received it. Qing Stix's expression was the calmest. However, there was a trace of uncertainty in his calmness. If something unexpected happened, Sky Dragon City would be destroyed. Not in a hurry. Isn't Brother Ling here? The few martial emperors were stunned. They didn't know why Qing Stix sent a message to Sky Cloud sect when the 7 martial emperors were here. Nangong Mingyue and Lu Yi also looked at Qing Stix in confusion. Then, their eyes fell on Ling Haoming. What does Brother Qing mean? Ling Haoming knew that Qing Stix had sent a message to Sky Cloud sect to look for Li Lingtian. The other sects and families in Sky Dragon Empire might not know about Sky Cloud sect, but Qing Stix's ability was amazing and he was wary of him. Could he have discovered something? Brother Ling, do you still want to hide it? A bitter smile appeared on Qing Stix's face. Sky Dragon Empire had the most information, so they naturally knew what had happened in Sky Cloud sect. He knew what Ling Haoming meant by hiding the truth. He did not want Li Lingtian to take the risk. As long as this kind of heaven-defying monster didn't come out to take risks, when he grew stronger, he could even develop Sky Cloud sect into the #1 sect in the Green Continent, let alone Sky Cloud sect's current strength. Brother Qing, what are you talking about? Yeah, at a time like this, you still have to hide. 10 million soldiers are at the city gates. We can't defeat these martial emperors even if they fight 2 against 1. Brother Ling, what trump card are you hiding? It's impossible for your Sky Cloud sect's killing formation to be brought to Sky Dragon City. All of a sudden, everyone's focus was on Ling Haoming. I have no choice. He's still young, and according to his habits, he must be cultivating now. Even I can't disturb his cultivation. Ling Haoming said helplessly. Facing so many people's gazes, he also smiled bitterly. Although Li Lingtian was a martial arts grandmaster, Sky Cloud sect was too far away. It was impossible for him to travel 1,000 miles in a flash like a martial emperor. You all know the person I'm talking about. Qing Stix said. Everybody's attention shifted to him. He alone could change the situation of tens of millions of soldiers approaching the city, and he alone could ignore more than 10 martial emperors. What kind of existence was he? Alone? Do we know each other? Who is so powerful? One person can face an army of tens of millions and more than 10 force emperors? Everyone was shocked. All the people they knew were martial royal realm experts. However, there were more than 10 martial royal realm experts in an army of tens of millions. Only a rank 8 or rank 9 martial royal realm expert could defeat them. Even an 8th level martial emperor could only flee when faced with an army of 10 million and more than 10 martial emperors. Moreover, in Sky Dragon Empire, the strongest martial emperor was Qing Stix, who was at the peak of rank 4. Could it be him? Could it be him? Nangong Mingyue and Lu Yi exclaimed at the same time. Then, they kept shaking their heads. This idea was too ridiculous. Who are you thinking of? They looked at the 2 girls, 2 peerless beauties. One of them was the eldest princess, Nangong Mingyue, who was known as the #1 beauty in the heavenly dragon world. The other was the mysterious disciple of the Misty Pavilion, Lu Yi. They were not inferior to Nangong Mingyue at all. Li Lingtian. Junior brother Li Lingtian. The 2 of them said another person's name at the same time. After saying that, they felt regret. They had spoken too carelessly. However, the two of them looked at each other and understood that this young man's image had long been engraved in the hearts of everyone in Heavenly Dragon. Li Ling Tian, that's impossible. He's number 1 on the Sons of Heaven roll, but he's only a martial king's disciple. Last time, he joined forces with Brother Qing to kill Beichen Wuo and fought against Lu Yunfei of Tianjin Empire. His strength is indeed abnormal, but he's only a martial emperor. Facing these martial emperors and an army, sigh. In a few decades, maybe one can solve the crisis after one become a martial emperor. All the experts sighed. This heaven-defying monster was born at the wrong time. If he was given another few decades, no one would dare to provoke the Heavenly Dragon. The two kids are right. It's Li Ling Tian. Qing Stix was secretly pleased when he saw the expressions on the powerhouses' faces. Although he had nothing to do with Li Ling Tian, he had given 3 drops of mystical blood essence to Li Ling Tian when he was injured the last time. Moreover, seeing the expressions of these martial artists, these martial emperors and martial grandmasters also learned a lot. I hope that the disciples of my Qing family will not provoke him in the future. Qing Stix thought to himself. This Tian Long, or even Qing Zhou, was not the stage for this young man. He was destined to leave Qing Zhou. He was only worried that his Qing family disciples would provoke this youth, so he did him a favor and hoped that he would not make a move against the Qing family. What? Brother Qing, you can't be mistaken, right? Grandpa Qing, are you really talking about him? That's impossible. You can't joke like that. Brother Qing, the great calamity is imminent. Don't make such a joke to make us happy. Shocked. Other than shock, there was still shock. After the two beauties had guessed it, they were a little shocked. However, when Qing Stix said it, they were shocked. That's right, it's Li Ling Tian. Ling Haoming nodded. There was no shock on his face, but more pride. Sky Cloud Sect had produced a heaven-defying expert who could shock the heavenly dragons. Didn't a great battle happen on Demonic Mountain half a year ago? That's right. Everyone suspects that Li Ling Tian was ambushed by his opponent during that battle. No one saw him come out in the end. Even if it was him, it would be impossible for him to face such a lineup. Even if Ling Haoming nodded his head and admitted it, coupled with the conversation between Ling Haoming and Qing Stix, seeing Ling Haoming's helpless expression, they believed a lot. However, this fact was still too shocking. One don't know what happened half a year ago because we don't ask about him. However, when Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire attacked Tianlong, didn't you suspect the Beiyu Empire? These bastards from the Northern Nether Empire actually covet the Sky Cloud Sect's Sky Cloud Sword. They even sent over 50 martial kings, 33 martial grandmasters, and 9 martial emperors. Dongfang Yu, Heaven's Roar's sect, and even Shimen Xian are among them. Ling Haoming recalled how the Beiyu Empire had attacked Sky Cloud Sect back then. He was now filled with rage. If Li Ling Tian had not been in Sky Cloud Sect, Sky Cloud Sect would have perished in an instant. What is it? The Northern Nether Empire actually sent such a lineup to attack your Sky Cloud Sect. Shimen Xian, the leader of the Northern Yin cult, is also there. He can topple Sky Cloud Sect all by himself. Could it be related to Li Ling Tian? When they heard that all the forces of the Northern Nether Empire were attacking Sky Cloud Sect, they were all shocked. Even the 4 great sects and 10 great clans of Sky Dragon Empire couldn't resist such a lineup. However, Sky Cloud Sect was preserved perfectly, and Ling Haoming was still safe here. Something shocking must have happened in Sky Cloud Sect that day. Not bad. At that time, the Heaven's Roar's sect used a martial emperor's forbidden move, something called Divine Light. One move was enough to destroy Sky Cloud Sect, but at that moment, a sword light appeared. The appearance of this sword light directly broke this forbidden move. At the same time that this taboo was destroyed, the sword light also split the Heaven's Roar's sect into 2 halves. It's even more exciting after that. That year, the silver-winged flying dragon killed Shimen Xian. Several martial emperors were killed, and all the martial grandmasters were killed. Not a single martial king was left alive. After that, the remaining 5 third-level martial emperors left Sky Cloud's sect for some reason. However, one believed that he cast a restriction on these martial emperors. Qing Styx told him everything he had learned that day. It was as if he was there. When he finished speaking, everyone was stunned for a long time. How could they believe such a thing? He had actually reached martial arts grandmaster, rank 3 martial king. In 2 years, he had reached rank 1 martial arts grandmaster, and he had played around with so many martial emperors. One won't say any more. This monster is speechless. I only hope that he can arrive in time. I hope he doesn't cultivate during this period of time. Otherwise, there's really no hope for the heavenly dragon. After a long time, everyone woke up with a start. Lu Yi and Nangong Mingyue's faces were filled with shock, and no one knew what they were thinking. Chapter 179, Chapter 179, Young Master Ming Xiao. Chapter 179, Young Master Ming Xiao. The impact of this news was too great, leaving everyone speechless. What kind of genius was this? A genius with such abnormal cultivation speed and strength? Brother Ling, don't worry. After this battle, I will definitely not mistreat him and recommend him to the divine continent. He is still a disciple of your Sky Cloud sect. His stage is not here. Even if everyone dies in this war, we will let him leave this place. It is never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. Qing Styx thought for a long time before he finally spoke. When he spoke, his expression was extremely serious as he looked at Ling Haoming. Then, he shifted his gaze to the other martial emperors and martial sects. The Sky Dragon Empire had been attacked and destroyed. Although martial artists did not stick to the borders, the reputation of being the slaves of a destroyed nation was not good. Moreover, this was their hometown. They could not let others destroy their hometown. That's right. It's never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. If there's an accident in this war, we'll send out our most talented disciple. We martial emperors are at our peak. It's meaningless to live for a few hundred years. Besides, it's impossible for us to survive the war. For a moment, all the experts had their own thoughts. If they were really destroyed, the talented disciples would definitely think of a way to send them out. Rumble. Rumble. A shocking explosion sounded, and Sky Dragon City trembled slightly. Although the nation's sealing array was not destroyed, it was still shaking. Not good, they are attacking the city. All the experts hurried to the top of the city wall and looked at the army in the distance. The tens of millions of soldiers were a black mass, and their auras soared into the sky. Countless cultivators joined forces to launch powerful array attacks. Thousands of attacks landed on the national sealing array, and even the national sealing array trembled. Drink, drink. Rumble. Rumble. The army roared as destructive attacks continuously bombarded the nation's sealing formation. Reinforce the protection of the formation. Qing Styx said loudly. Immediately, more than a dozen martial arts grandmasters turned the endless spiritual stones into spiritual qi and strengthened the formation. At this moment, the emperor of the empire, Nangong Haoming, had also arrived on the city wall. Everyone was wearing battle armor. If this continues, the city will be breached in half a day. Some martial emperors started to get anxious when they saw the situation of the formation. Although the formation was powerful, the opponent was too powerful. The Tianjin Empire's main commander was the chariot. The entire chariot was 100 meters in diameter and was pulled by 2 4th-tier, 8th-grade demonic beasts. On the chariot, the 16 martial monarch powerhouses had smiles on their faces. They had received the order from Tianjin Empire to take down Sky Dragon City within a day. There was no suspense about such a big city. Brother Wu, the higher-ups have ordered us to take down Sky Dragon City within a day. I'm afraid we can't go on like this. Sun Haochuan's expression changed as he looked at the nation's sealing array. This was the first time he had seen such a magical array. Originally, he thought that a large city like Sky Dragon City could be broken through without much effort. However, he did not expect that Sky Dragon City would have such a magical array. Brother Sun, don't be anxious. The people above are coming to Sky Dragon City. We can't break this array too early, Wu Wenyun said with a smile. He was the commander-in-chief, but everyone here was a fourth-level martial emperor. Even if he was the commander-in-chief, he had to discuss with these people during the battle. What happened? Lan Xiaoyao looked at Wu Wenyun in confusion and asked calmly. At the same time, the other martial emperors also looked at Wu Wenyun. This is an order from the higher-ups. One don't know the exact reason. One only know that we shouldn't attack this city immediately to avoid any accidents. We have to wait for the people from above to come down. Wu Wenyun said lightly. He didn't know what was going on. Although he was a martial emperor, the decision to attack the heavenly dragon was made by the higher-ups. If we attack like this, we won't be able to take down Sky Dragon City even in our lifetime. Hurry up and break the formation. At this moment, a deep voice sounded. A scarlet figure shot over from the sky and landed on the chariot in an instant. It was a young man dressed in scarlet robes. He looked to be only 23 or 24 years old. He looked handsome, but his face was pale, as if he had never seen the sun. His entire body emitted an evil aura. When the dozen martial emperors saw this young man, they were all frightened. Young Master Ming Xiao. Wu Wenyun stood up and greeted the young man. The other martial emperors also bowed respectfully. This action shocked countless soldiers. As the commander-in-chief, he actually bowed to a young man, and all the martial emperors were respectful. I'll break through this country's sealing array and take down Sky Dragon City within an hour. Young Master Ming Xiao said sinisterly, his eyes sharp as he looked at the great nation's sealing formation in the distance. This formation had a shocking defense. If these people attacked like this, who knew how long they would have to wait? His lord had ordered them to take down Sky Dragon City as soon as possible, before the experts of Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire. Young Master Ming Xiao, this isn't good. Wu Wenyun and the other martial emperors were stunned. The order from above was not to break through the heavenly dragon immediately, but this young Master Ming Xiao wanted to break through the national sealing array immediately. What's wrong? Are you going to resist my orders? It's your honor that one helped you break the array. If you were in my shoes, you wouldn't be forgiven with your attitude. Young Master Ming Xiao said coldly. His entire body was emitting a shocking power. He was a 7th-level martial emperor. After saying that, he unleashed all his might and floated in the air, looking at the nation's sealing array from afar. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth condensed, and the space trembled. Oh no, it's a 7th-level martial emperor. The experts on the city wall inside the array all saw the young man in the air. The aura emitted by this young man was terrifying. He wants to break the formation alone. How is that possible? You want to break the country's sealing formation alone? Not good. He's from Yuzhou in the western regions. Be careful. The few martial emperors were shocked. Countless soldiers and martial arts grandmasters looked at the young man in the sky in shock. Only Qing Stix recognized the young man when he saw him. Yuzhou of the western regions? Could it be that Yuzhou is involved in this war? Lai Xingchuan cried out in alarm. He naturally knew how terrifying Serenity Plains was. Serenity Plains was ruled by the demons. Although the demons had been suppressed, there were still countless devil cultivators. There were also many demons who dared not leave Yuzhou province due to the existence of the Holy Capital and Immortal Palace. Moreover, the demons in Yuzhou province couldn't cause any trouble. The entire Yuzhou province was filled with monstrous demonic qi, which was not suitable for human cultivation. Then this war in Green Province is really related to Serenity Plains. I wonder what benefits Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire have gained to attack Tianlong. Fairy Green Lotus of the Misty Pavilion said angrily. She was the only female martial emperor in the Heavenly Dragon sect. Rumble. With a loud explosion, the nation's sealing array shook. Everyone's attention shifted to the array. Young Master Ming Xiao stretched out his hands, and a blood-red compass appeared in the air. He kept moving his hands, and streams of spiritual qi gathered between heaven and earth. The compass emitted an evil aura. Every time the aura struck, the nation's sealing array would tremble. Moreover, the country's sealing formation seemed to have been contaminated. One could imagine that the compass in young Master Ming Xiao's hand was not a good thing. It should be an evil treasure of the demon race. The demonic board is in my hands. Let's see how long your nation's sealing array can last. Young Master Ming Xiao laughed and waved his hand. Another shocking evil aura struck the formation, and the light shield of the formation was immediately eroded. Huff, huff, huff. Walla, walla. All the armies stopped breaking the formation and watched in shock as the young man in the sky used the evil energy to break the formation. Moreover, the formation began to tremble continuously, as if it was about to break in the blink of an eye. Countless experts and armies in Sky Dragon City were shocked. Countless experts were ready for a great battle. In 10 seconds, the national sealing array will definitely be broken. Young Master Ming Xiao laughed loudly with an evil smile on his face, as if he had seen thousands of corpses. The 10 million strong army, 16 martial emperors, and 200 martial grandmasters all looked hesitant. The order from above was that they would only have one day. Now that young Master Ming Xiao had broken the formation, their plan would be ruined. However, no one dared to face young Master Ming Xiao, let alone provoke him. 10 seconds to break my country's sealing formation. Shameless boasting. At this moment, a faint voice came from the sky. The voice was calm, but it could reach everyone's ears. The voice was far away in the sky, but by the time the voice fell, the white-robed figure had already strangely floated above the nation's sealing array. The arrival of this figure shocked everyone. No one knew how this figure had arrived. Even a martial emperor could travel thousands of miles in a flash, and there would be sounds of air breaking and space fluctuations. However, this figure appeared as if he was standing there before, and no trace of him could be seen. In the sky, on top of the light shield of the thousands of miles wide nation's sealing formation, on the east side was the demonic disc that young Master Ming Xiao was using. On the west side was a white-robed figure floating in the air. The two of them faced each other from east to west. It's him. It's him. As expected. You came just in time. What a fast speed. But he shouldn't be here now. Young Master Ming Xiao is a 7th level martial emperor. He'll be sending himself to his death if he comes. One haven't seen him for 2 years and he has already reached the martial arts Grandmaster level. I really underestimated him. All of a sudden, the few martial emperors were shocked. Nangong Mingyue was also shocked when she saw the elegant figure in the sky. It's young noble Ling Tian. Young noble Ling Tian is here. Young noble Ling Tian is here. Sky Dragon City will be saved. Countless soldiers in Sky Dragon City cheered. Most of them were martial artists because they finally understood the benefits of strength. Chapter 180, Chapter 18-0, Holy Array Master. Chapter 18-0, Holy Array Master. The Tang family, the Lan family, the Li family, and the Qin family were all extremely excited. Rumble. At this moment, the nation's sealing formation trembled. If this continued, it would definitely break in 10 seconds. At that time, Sky Dragon City would have to face the attack of 16 martial emperors and millions of troops. One told you to boast shamelessly, but you didn't believe me, trash. Li Lingtian stared at young Master Ming Xiao in the distance. He was displeased with young Master Ming Xiao from the bottom of his heart. The evil aura he exuded was making him feel uncomfortable. After he finished speaking, a golden light flashed between his eyebrows. After the golden light, a 3-foot-long and 1-foot-wide brocade cloth appeared. The brocade cloth also flickered with golden light. This was the divine array diagram. Li Lingtian had spent a long time studying it on Demonic Mountain, and his array Dao had become much more profound. He had also kept the divine array diagram in his body. When he used it now, he only needed a strand of divine sense. With a wave of his right hand, a mysterious light burst out and struck the nation's sealing array. With the appearance of the mysterious light, the nation's sealing formation that was originally shaking and about to shatter stabilized. Phew! The tens of millions of soldiers, countless super experts, and countless soldiers and experts in Sky Dragon City were all in an uproar. It took a long time for a 7th-level martial Emperor Ming Xiao to break through the nation's sealing array with his demonic disc. However, the array was restored with a casual wave of his hand in front of Li Lingtian. They did not know what the golden cloth in front of Li Lingtian was, but since Li Lingtian had refined it as a treasure, it must not be simple. Detestable, extremely detestable. Young Master Ming Xiao was also shocked when he saw the broken array being repaired in an instant. He was a heaven-defying genius and also a genius in array formations. With this treasure, he could break any grand array. However, he never expected that it would be repaired by a young man so easily. He also understood the power of the array Dao, and was beyond shocked by this youth's strength. However, he was like a comet. How could he tolerate others going against him? Damn you, F***ck off. Li Lingtian hovered above the nation's sealing array as he glared at young Master Mingxiao coldly. Immediately, there was another wave of exclamations from below. How could he insult a 7th-level martial emperor super genius like this? Rumble. Rumble. In the sky, on the horizon, a huge flying ship flew over at high speed. The Heavenly Cloud spaceship was Li Lingtian's spaceship. He was originally with Tang Zimeng and the others, but when he saw someone breaking the formation, he could not afford to ignore the situation. Hence, he used Thunderbolt to fly over. Now that the Heavenly Cloud spaceship had arrived above Heavenly Dragon Great City, all the warriors knew that it belonged to Li Lingtian. Tang Zimeng and the 3 maids stood in front of the spaceship. When they saw the tens of millions of troops, they were dumbfounded. Tisk! When Li Lingtian saw the spacecraft approaching, he pointed at the air with one hand and a mysterious radiance appeared. The radiance created a 200-meter-wide hole in the nation's sealing array, and the Heavenly Cloud spaceship flew right in. After the Heavenly Cloud ship entered, the nation's sealing array was restored. The entire process happened in the blink of an eye. I understand. One understand. At this moment, Ling Haoming laughed out loud, his face filled with excitement. In stark contrast to the other astonished powerhouses, everyone was shocked by Li Lingtian's array Dao, but they saw Ling Haoming laughing. What do you understand? Qing Stix looked at Ling Haoming in confusion and asked curiously. Last time, when the experts from the Northern Nether Empire attacked Sky Cloud Sect activated the Li Fire Xianyang formation. However, someone altered the formation, and the consumption was only 1/10 of the original amount. However, the power of the Li Fire Xianyang formation increased by 10-fold. It turns out that he altered the formation without anyone knowing. Ling Haoming said loudly. Qing Stix and the others were shocked once again. The Li Fire Xianyang array was a heaven-grade array, and it was actually modified without anyone knowing. Only a Saint Array Master above the Spiritual Array Master could make this array so many times stronger. He's a Holy Array Master. Someone exclaimed in surprise. They recalled Li Lingtian's actions earlier. He had easily repaired and torn apart the nation's sealing array. Such a move was definitely a Holy Array Master. Shock, shock, and shock. Junior brother Li, one didn't expect you to be a Saint Array Master. You're really an all-rounder. You should be able to refine a peerless grade 4 pill now, right? Louis was extremely surprised. She could not help but think of Li Lingtian's talent in alchemy and inadvertently blurted out this sentence. Whoosh! If his words did not shock the world, he would not rest until he died. A sacred array master was already heaven-defying, yet he still wanted a 4th-grade peerless medicinal pill. Had the world gone crazy? He was so abnormal, he had beaten all the geniuses to a pulp, and he was also a sacred array master. Now, he even had a peerless 4th-grade medicinal pill. This was something that even a spirit alchemist could not do. Tier 4 peerless medicinal pill. Will there be peerless pills? Even if it's a spirit alchemist, it's impossible for him to refine a peerless pill. Have you ever seen a peerless medicinal pill? Some of the experts who had woken up asked curiously. Supreme-grade pills were a heaven-defying legend. Even spirit alchemists couldn't refine them. This is the supreme-grade spirit-binding pill that Junior Brother Li refined before he broke through to warrior spirit. Lu Yi saw the expressions of these experts and took out a peerless spirit-binding pill. All the experts were stunned. There really was a peerless pill. Young Master has given me quite a lot of supreme-grade pills, but one haven't seen any Tier 4 supreme-grade pills. However, when Young Master was in warrior spirit, he refined a Tier 4 upper-grade pill. Wu Yun said indifferently. He took out a jade bottle that contained a Tier 4 heavenly Yao pill. Although there was only one, this heavenly Yao pill could increase the cultivation of Yao cultivators. For a moment, the powerhouses in Sky Dragon City were speechless. A warrior had refined a peerless spirit-binding pill while a warrior spirit had refined a Tier 4 superior-grade Sky Demon pill. They would not believe that Li Lingtian did not have a peerless purple jade pill. Speechless, completely speechless. Rumble. A loud explosion sounded in the sky. The powerhouses below were watching the show, but Li Lingtian and young Master Ming Xiao had already started fighting. The two of them floated in the sky, and streaks of magical light collided with the evil aura in their hands. This was an attack from the Array Dao. They could not see its power, but they all understood that the power of the Array Dao could often kill a super expert invisibly. An array master of a low-level martial artist might easily kill a martial king or martial grandmaster. Saint Array Master, this young master wants to see if you, a Saint Array Master, or this young master, a Devil Array Master, are stronger. Young Master Ming Xiao was extremely shocked. He didn't think that there would be such a heaven-defying monster in Green Continent. He had heard everything those people said. Don't pretend to be a wolf in front of me. You can tell if you're a dragon or a worm at a glance. Li Lingtian burst into laughter. He was now more confident about his Array Dao. Although he could not fully control the divine array diagram, he had gained a lot of control over his Array Dao. Waving his hand, beams of light collided with young Master Ming Xiao's evil aura, but the nation's sealing formation was not damaged at all. Because the attacks from the formation were all neutralized in the air, the tens of millions of soldiers and the millions of soldiers of Sky Dragon City and the citizens of the city stared at the sky in a daze. I'll kill you first. Ming Xiao Gongzi could see that Li Lingtian's Array Dao was so powerful that even his own demonic board could not break it. He had no idea what the brocade cloth in front of Li Lingtian was. However, he soon realized that he could easily destroy the nation's sealing array by killing Li Lingtian. After saying that, he put away the demonic disc and disappeared. There was no fluctuation in the space, and young Master Ming Xiao seemed to have evaporated. Thunderclap wings. When Ming Xiao young master disappeared, the powerhouses of Sky Dragon City were shocked and worried for Li Lingtian. However, their worries were unfounded as Li Lingtian's body vanished at the same time. Both of them had completely evaporated. Rumble. From time to time, muffled sounds would erupt in the air, and the space would also begin to tremble, but the two figures were not seen. Spatial imprisonment. The two of them flashed in the air countless times. Both of them were extremely shocked. The other party's movement technique was extremely magical. They could not attack the other party at all. In 10 seconds, an electric arc appeared in the sky. Li Lingtian appeared in the arc with a faint smile on his face. With one hand and one body, a silk banner appeared in his hand. He waved the silk banner in his hand, causing the air to tremble. It was as if a stone had been thrown into a calm lake, creating rippies. The spatial ripples appeared. All the martial artists were puzzled, but then, they were all stunned. Young Master Ming Xiao, who was a 7th-level martial emperor, was floating in the air with a shocked expression on his face. However, he did not have the chance to move. Imprisonment. It's the power of imprisonment. Why is the imprisonment power of the Zhangzhou Dishi family in his hands? This is the most precious treasure of Dishi family, the space banner. It fell into his hands. Countless martial emperors saw the banner in Li Lingtian's hand and connected it with the change in space. They immediately thought of the spatial banner of the Zhangzhou Dishi family. Get lost. Li Lingtian did not hesitate at all. He did not have much control over the space banner and could not hold on for long. Besides, it was not wise to fight on the nation's sealing array. A shocking aura erupted from his entire body as he charged forward. The spatial imprisonment power followed suit, and young Master Ming Xiao, who was trapped in it, retreated quickly. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had arrived above the Tianjin Empire army. Damn it! What is your relationship with the Dishi family of the Azure continent? Why do you have a space banner? Young Master Ming Xiao's face was filled with viciousness. It had been so many years, but this was the first time he had suffered such a great humiliation. Being imprisoned like this in front of millions of soldiers and countless heavenly dragon experts was simply detestable. Although he knew that this space would not be able to confine him for long, with his status, he would not have any face if he was suppressed by a martial arts grandmaster. Ignorance is also a kind of happiness. You should be an idiot. Li Lingtian said coldly. His aura turned violent and the space around him began to feel uneasy. A shocking power of flames erupted, and the temperature of the space suddenly rose. The air seemed to be burning. Chapter 181, Chapter 181, Meteor Shower, 1. Chapter 181, Meteor Shower, 1. Could it be that this kid is going to be like last time? The armies of Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire are going to suffer. When Li Suifeng saw Li Lingtian pushing young Master Ming Xiao above the Tianjin Empire's army, he was reminded of the situation in Thunderclap City where Li Lingtian's earth-shattering attack landed on the army. As expected, the few martial emperors looked at Li Suifeng in confusion as soon as he finished speaking. However, Li Lingtian's actions told them the truth. Li Lingtian's dimension was surrounded by raging flaming qi. Even young Master Ming Xiao, who was imprisoned, could feel the terrifying flames. Meteor shower. Li Lingtian gave a soft shout. Immediately, a rain of fire appeared in the sky. The rain of fire descended from the sky and quickly pressed down on young Master Ming Xiao, who was trapped in the confined space. The 1-mile-wide fire rain brought with it a destructive temperature, shocking countless experts. You can't kill me yet. One won't play with you anymore. A strange smile appeared on Ming Xiao's face. With one hand and one body, a palm-sized blood-red halo appeared. As the halo appeared, the space was covered in blood. The space trembled and the confined space trembled slightly. As it trembled, Li Lingtian's body flashed rapidly. The spatial imprisonment hadn't been broken, but young Master Ming Xiao, who was trapped in the imprisonment, had disappeared. A destructive power shot toward him. Ice and fire ring, sacrifice. Seeing young Master Ming Xiao's attack, he activated his divine sense and the ice and fire ring appeared in front of him. Instantly, a ring of ice and fire protected him. Rumble. A blood-red pillar of light fiercely bombarded the ice and fire ring, and the ice and fire ring instantly returned to its original shape. Li Lingtian spat out a mouthful of blood as he quickly retreated. He was extremely shocked. He was indeed not someone he could fight against. The ice and fire ring had already reached the level of a peerless imperial weapon. However, it was instantly reduced to its original form after being struck by a martial emperor. One could imagine how terrifying young Master Ming Xiao was. Blood Devil is monstrous. Die! After young Master Ming Xiao was freed from the confinement, he flew into a rage and launched a shocking attack at Li Lingtian. If he didn't kill this young man, it wouldn't be enough to vent his anger. The shocking attack was like a sea of blood, and the space was also extremely polluted. Junior brother Li. Big Brother Ling Tian. Countless people in Sky Dragon City were worried for Li Ling Tian, but they could only watch helplessly. In front of the army of Tianjin Empire, the 16 martial royal realm experts were upset when they saw the battle in the sky. Worried that the array would be broken, they had thought of killing Li Ling Tian with Ming Xiao Young Master. However, with Li Ling Tian dead, the array would be broken and the order from above would be in vain. Shifting flowers to trees. While countless people in Sky Dragon City were worried, Li Ling Tian paused in midair and stabilized himself. His body emitted a halo as he cast a protective barrier. His face revealed a solemn expression. He circulated his true essence to the peak and used the skill of shifting flowers and trees. As the Blood Sea's shocking attack approached, it made a strange turn 5 meters in front of Li Ling Tian. The Blood Sea descended upon the army below. All, ah. Ah, ah, ah. Chi chi, chi chi. From the moment Li Ling Tian unleashed the meteor shower to the moment Ming Xiao Young Master left the imprisonment dimension to the moment when Li Ling Tian neutralized the attack, the entire process took only an instant. Down below, among the tens of millions of soldiers, a 1-mile-wide meteor shower descended, and the sea of blood drowned a large part of the army. Miserable screams rang out continuously. With this, tens of thousands of soldiers died. Even martial arts grandmasters would be injured by the power of the meteor shower. Those below Martial King realm would die if they came into contact with it. Everyone was shocked when they saw Li Ling Tian easily dissolve the Blood Sea. This was because Li Ling Tian's move was miraculous. Not only did he dissolve the opponent's attack, he even skillfully diverted it. It was no different from the legendary skill of stealing the sky and changing the sun. He did not expect such a magical skill to really exist in this world. Continue. Let's see how many more attacks you have left. Let's see how long your army can last. Li Ling Tian looked down and felt extremely satisfied. He had cultivated the transposition of flowers and trees previously, but he did not know how powerful it would be. Now that he had taken the risk to test it out, he had actually shifted the attack of a 7th-level martial emperor. Although he was shocked, this was enough to prove the power of the shifting flower. Die! Young Master Ming Xiao saw that he had been fooled and his attack had been shifted. How could he not be furious? The army below was not his army, so there was no need to worry. Immediately, he unleashed all his attacks and a series of earth-shattering attacks bombarded Li Ling Tian. Li Ling Tian was also stunned for a moment before he realized that they were not a single force. They were only joining forces temporarily. The heavens and earth will shatter. The punch hit the air, causing the air to tremble. A violent force smashed down on young Master Ming Xiao. Rumble. Rumble. The sky trembled as the two figures kept flashing like two meteors. Heavenly Devil True Body. Young Master Ming Xiao's demonic chi finally burst out. He had been hiding it all along but was now stunned by Li Ling Tian's strength. It would be impossible to kill this young man if he did not unleash his cultivation technique. Immediately, the dense demonic chi around young Master Ming Xiao's body solidified, and he grew taller. A huge pitch-black fist came crashing down on Li Ling Tian. Roaring Dragon Battle Halberd. Dragon chi burst out as he shot through the air. He extended his hand and the Roaring Dragon Battle Halberd appeared in his hand. A huge amount of dragon chi and destructive power bombarded his opponent. Kacha! Rumble! Space was torn apart and a shocking explosion sounded. The Roaring Dragon Battle Halberd and the Black Fist collided, and destructive energy shot out in all directions. Li Ling Tian was forced back 100 meters. Ming Xiao gaped in surprise. Although he had the upper hand, he was not happy at all because his opponent was only a Tier 1 martial arts grandmaster. With his own strength, he could even kill a Type 9 powerhouse. I don't want to play with you anymore. Bingguojia Kongshan, Second Heaven, destroy. Li Ling Tian said coldly. He raised his hands and the space trembled. A ball of flames and a glacier appeared in his hands. The two extreme attributes met and the air was instantly suppressed. He put his hands together, and a three-colored light beam appeared. The light beam shot toward young Master Ming Xiao, and the air was filled with the aura of destruction and death. Rumble. With a shocking explosion, a destructive halo appeared in the air. The demonic chi was blasted away, and the pillar of light disappeared. A destructive halo spread out in all directions. Young Master Ming Xiao's body was sent flying and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was as pale as a sheet of paper, and his anger soared to the sky. Damn it, damn it! Demon King / Destruction. Young Master Ming Xiao had never suffered such a blow before. He was actually injured by a first-level martial arts grandmaster. When he thought of the power of this light pillar, his heart trembled. With a roar, a huge Demon King / appeared in his hand. It was a Supreme Emperor weapon. The terrifying demonic chi wrapped around the Demon King / The demonic chi was corrosive, and the air was gradually polluted. He glared at Li Lingtian with a cold and ruthless gaze as he swung the Demon King / down viciously. Crash! The space was split open, and a 100-meter-long pitch-black light slashed down. Sword howl, heaven and earth. Li Lingtian activated his divine consciousness and the Tianyu sword appeared in his hand. His aura changed instantly as a powerful sword will floated in the air. He was like a sharp sword standing proudly between heaven and earth. His terrifying sword intent could even tear demonic chi into pieces. The sky sword was swung out, and the space fell silent. A destructive sword light bombarded the pitch-black light. The sword chi was incomparably overbearing and sharp. The two attacks collided in the blink of an eye. The mysterious sword whistled through the heavens and earth. Coupled with the power of the Saint weapon, the Universe sword, the attack was earth-shattering. Crash! Boom! Tisk! The two attacks collided, and with a soft sound, the Demon King / and the sword light disappeared at the same time. Strangely enough, Li Lingtian's sword radiance was tainted by the demonic chi. Li Lingtian's mind was in turmoil as he spat out a mouthful of blood. You're courting death. Li Lingtian retreated a few hundred meters as he wiped the blood off the corner of his mouth. He was shocked as he did not expect his trump card, Sword Howl of the Heavens and Earth, to be broken just like that. In this world, bittern water and tofu were equal. His attack was incomparably overbearing. If it was the attack of other martial artists, this sword would have split them in half long ago. However, it was actually ineffective against the demonic chi. He moved his spiritual awareness and a ball of ice appeared in the divine dragon ring. The fist-sized ice flame in his hand kept burning. The air froze, and the aura of destruction spread out. All the experts below were staring blankly at the battle in the sky. A first-level martial arts grandmaster was fighting a 7th-level martial emperor super genius. True devil chi, die. Young Master Ming Xiao naturally recognized the icy frost flame in Li Lingtian's hand. He was shocked as he did not expect this young man to possess icy frost flame. His demonic chi could corrupt the opponent's attacks and treasures, but the opponent's icy ice flame was also an extremely terrifying existence. A trace of pain appeared on his face. Immediately, a dense true devil chi appeared in front of him. Tens of millions of soldiers and powerhouses from Sky Dragon City looked at Li Lingtian and young Master Ming Xiao solemnly. They knew that the duo had unleashed their most powerful attack. Those who knew Li Lingtian well were extremely worried because Li Lingtian had already used his trump card twice. Both times, he had failed to kill his opponent and had even injured himself. In the air, a ball of ice flame spun and shot toward young Master Ming Xiao. The other ball of true devil chi was also getting stronger and stronger, and it quickly went to meet the cold ice flame. Boom! The space exploded as two destructive attacks tore through the space. However, the two attacks did not collide. Instead, they pressed down on each other. The space trembled continuously. Among the tens of millions of soldiers, the army of martial arts grandmasters was crushed. The nation's sealing array also trembled, but no one could stop it because the two attacks were already on the verge of exploding. Chapter 182, Chapter 182, Being a Bitch, Deserves a Beat. Chapter 182, Being a Bitch, Deserves a Beat. Rumble. All, ah, ah. All, ah, ah. All, ah, ah. With a loud explosion, the nation's ceiling formation was broken. Countless experts and soldiers were crushed to death by the pressure in the sky. Without the protection of the formation, the tens of millions of soldiers outside the city were crushed. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of soldiers were destroyed. Hiss. Rumble. The sound of space being torn apart rang out. Immediately after, the ice flame and the true devil chi collided with a shocking explosion. The destructive power spread in all directions, and the entire space exploded with a shocking demonic chi and a white light. True dragon body protection. As Li Lingtian saw the endless destructive force shooting toward him, he circulated his true essence and cast the true dragon body barrier. The powerful destructive power was blocked outside. He stared at young Master Ming Xiao in the distance and locked his divine sense on him. The sound of blood spurting could be heard. Young Master Ming Xiao spat out black blood from his mouth. His body also swayed, and a shocked expression appeared on his face. Even his true devil chi had been dispelled. The world was extremely quiet. Those who deserved to die were all dead. Those who were not dead did not dare to breathe loudly. They all wanted to know the final result. Either Li Lingtian or young Master Ming Xiao would be defeated. No matter which one was defeated, the great battle would begin. The nation's sealing array had been destroyed and they had no one to rely on. They could only wait for the outcome of Li Lingtian and young Master Ming Xiao. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers had died in the army. The martial emperors did not dare to attack Sky Dragon City, which did not have the national sealing formation. Li Lingtian's heart raced. He had already unleashed Sword Howl of the Heavens and Earth and Ice, Fire, 9 heavens, yet he had wasted such a terrifying icy blaze. However, he was still unable to defeat his opponent. The power of a 7th-level martial emperor was indeed beyond his imagination. Spirit engulfing beast, come out. One want the entire Sky Dragon City to be destroyed. After a long time, young Master Ming Xiao roared in rage. He stretched out his hand, and the palm-sized blood-red halo appeared in his hand. Li Lingtian and the rest had seen it before. It was this halo that allowed him to escape from the imprisonment dimension. They did not know what Ming Xiao's halo was for. If Li Lingtian had used the space banner, the halo could have been broken. However, Li Lingtian had not used the banner yet. Then, everyone was shocked. A terrifying magical beast appeared in the air. The magical beast was 100 meters tall and was no different from an ape. However, this magical beast's height was terrifying. His entire body emitted a shocking demonic aura. Just this demonic aura alone made all the martial artists tremble. A 5th-rank 9th-grade peak spirit engulfing beast. The peak of the 5th rank is equivalent to the peak of the 9th rank of the martial emperor. There are no 9th-level martial emperors in Green Continent. We're done for. All of a sudden, the army and the experts in Sky Dragon City were shocked. Li Lingtian was barely able to hold his ground against Ming Xiao, but he had used up all his trump cards. The opponent had brought out a peak tier 9 martial emperor demonic beast which could destroy Sky Dragon City. The heavenly dragon emperor Nangong Haoming, Li Suifeng, Qin clan, Li clan, Lan clan, Tang clan, and countless other experts all looked desperate. Tang Zimeng's little face was even more stunned. Li Lingtian had no chance of fighting back against such a terrifying demonic beast. Nangong Mingyue and Lu Yi were also shocked. No matter how powerful a martial arts grandmaster was, he would not be able to fight back against such a demonic beast. They had all witnessed how terrifying Li Lingtian was when he was still a monster. If not for this demonic beast, the situation might not have been as good as it seemed. However, the heavenly dragon's fate had come to an end. Attention, let's work together to send him away. Qin Styx spoke in a serious tone as he spoke to the other 7 martial emperors. They had secretly decided that if they were to encounter any danger, they would defend Li Lingtian and allow him to escape. Lai Xingchuan and the others nodded, circulating their true qi to the limit. In the face of a battle of death, they could only fight with their lives. However, to their surprise, Li Lingtian was laughing out loud in the face of such a terrifying demonic beast and the pressure that could destroy him. How funny. I have to say that you are a piece of trash. After fighting with me for so long, you can only use this broken demonic beast to deal with me. Do you still have any shame? Everyone was stunned and shook their heads. In a world where the strong were respected, the winner was king when faced with such a situation. Li Lingtian wanted to goad him, but it was obvious that he could not do so in such a situation. You want me to be fooled? You shouldn't have looked for me. I'm angry. Sky Dragon City and you will forever be history. Young Master Ming Xiao felt disdain when he saw Li Lingtian goading him. With that said, he waved his hand and a bell began to ring. The tall spirit-engulfing beast immediately went berserk and shot toward Li Lingtian with a shocking amount of demonic qi. The shocking pressure almost caused the space to collapse. Seeing the power of the spirit-engulfing beast, everyone trembled. If that's the case, don't say that I'm bullying you. When I'm angry, I'm afraid of myself. The thunderclap wings on Li Lingtian's shoulder flapped. However, this time, he could only move once and was only 100 meters away from his original position. In the face of such destructive pressure, space became distorted, and the thunderclap wings were naturally affected. After dodging the spirit-engulfing beast's attack, Li Lingtian's face revealed a strange smile. With a flick of his divine consciousness, the space around him began to tremble. Boom! A destructive demonic qi burst out from the space. Countless experts felt their chests become heavy in the face of this spatial impact. Even martial emperors felt the threat of death. A huge demonic beast appeared in the air. This demonic beast was even larger than the spirit-engulfing beast, and its entire body emitted a violent demonic aura. Demon King Beast. 6th rank King Beast. Why is there a Tier 6 Devil King Beast? Demon King Beast. A rank 6 Demon King Beast is a martial honored realm. Powerhouse. Is this Demon King Beast his mount? All the experts were stunned, as if they had seen a ghost. They were all shocked when they saw the peak 5th grade and 9th grade spirit-engulfing beast. Now, there was another 6th tier King Beast. The King Beast itself was powerful, and it was also a 6th tier King Beast. Tier 6 and Tier 5 were only one step apart, but the difference was like the difference between heaven and earth. This is the Demon King Beast from the Heavenly Devil Canyon. It was kept in a treasure by him. Why is it subdued by him now? Behind the Tianjin Empire's war chariot, a Tier 9 martial arts grandmaster said in shock. The last time they entered the Heavenly Devil Canyon, they had encountered this Demon King Beast, but it was taken away by Li Lingtian. Roar! Roar! The shocking aura dissipated as the Devil King Beast glanced at Li Lingtian. Li Lingtian pointed at the spirit-engulfing beast before he locked his divine perception onto young Master Ming Xiao. He did not want to be bothered by the battle between the two demonic beasts. It was only a matter of time before the King Beast killed the spirit-engulfing beast. Rumble! Rumble! Upon receiving Li Lingtian's order, the infernal King Beast unleashed a berserk aura and unleashed a devastating attack. Like demonic beasts, the level of a demonic beast determined the outcome of the battle. The spirit-engulfing beasts were completely suppressed. Even if the defense of the magical beasts was amazing, a 5th rank and a 6th rank were on completely different levels. The spirit-engulfing beast let out a series of sorrowful cries as it was continuously bombarded. It did not even have the chance to retaliate. Our business is not over yet. I didn't want to bully you, but you're too cheap. I have no choice. Is he cheap? Li Lingtian said calmly before he roared and looked in the direction of Sky Dragon City. Despicable. Despicable. How despicable. In an instant, the millions of soldiers and warriors of Sky Dragon City shouted out in a deafening voice. Li Lingtian was amused by the fact that they were cursing so loudly. How should we punish those who commit such a crime? Li Lingtian smiled as he glared at the enraged young master Mingxiao. You deserve a beating. Beat this B***tch to death. Another earth-shattering curse. For a moment, the atmosphere was extremely strange. Since you deserve to be beaten, then one won't be polite. Li Lingtian said calmly. With a flick of his divine consciousness, the space trembled once again as the silver-winged flying dragon's powerful demonic power burst forth. The huge silver-winged flying dragon floated in the air. The powerful aura of a Type 5, Level 7 beast filled the defenses of countless experts, attacking the hearts of all experts and the army. Yes! Li Lingtian roared loudly. His body flashed as he unleashed heaven and earth conflagration and attacked young Master Mingxiao viciously. At the same time, the silver-winged flying dragon had the advantage in the air. In the blink of an eye, it had arrived in front of Li Lingtian. One man and one dragon were attacking young Master Mingxiao fiercely. Rumble! 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 In the sky, two groups of people were engaged in battle. The sixth-step king beast was killing the fifth-step spirit-engulfing beast. Ling Tian and the silver-winged flying dragon's 2 years of experience in working together was now unleashed to the maximum. Li Lingtian unleashed his destructive attack during the gap between the silver-winged flying dragon's attacks. There was no gap in his attacks. He smashed down like a storm. He was fighting with all his might. Li Lingtian, you bastard! You're too shameless. You motherf***er. Rumble. Except for martial emperors, the warriors below couldn't see the battle clearly. They could only hear the sounds of attacks and young Master Mingxiao's curses. Your mouths are cheap. Why are you still scolding me? Li Lingtian shouted coldly as a series of destructive attacks rained down. The people below were all stunned. Who was this person? The battle actually went to such an extent. Blood Devil Incarnation. Young Master Mingxiao was shocked. Anger and bitterness surged in his heart. He was actually attacked by a martial arts grandmaster and a demonic beast. If this continued, he would definitely die here. With a thought of his divine sense, his body strangely disappeared. Phew! Rumble! A gust of wind blew, and Ming Zhao's figure disappeared, leaving behind a shadow. At the same time, the Demon King Beast's attack missed, and the Spirit-Engulfing Beast disappeared. The earth-shattering destructive attack ruthlessly bombarded the army of 10 million soldiers. Immediately, 10,000 soldiers died under a single attack. The silver-winged flying dragon and Li Lingtian's attacks destroyed the afterimage, but young Master Ming Xiao had vanished without a trace. Chapter 183, Chapter 183, Offending My Heavenly Dragon, Damn It. Chapter 183, Offending My Heavenly Dragon, Damn It. Li Lingtian, just you wait. A voice sounded from the horizon, followed by the sound of blood spurting out. Young Master Mingxiao's figure had already appeared on the horizon. Forcefully using a forbidden technique to escape, his mind suffered a backlash. Heavenly Extreme Tyrant Emperor Saber. When Li Lingtian saw the fleeing figure on the horizon, he hardened his heart. With a flick of his divine consciousness, he unleashed the Empyrean Terminus Tyrant Saber. A destructive saber flare vanished into the horizon and the sky was split in half. The beam of light did not disappear for a long time. All! If I don't die, you will regret it. Another scream resounded through the world. When this sound disappeared, the sky fell silent. Li Lingtian's face revealed a trace of regret. He had let young Master Ming Xiao escape and he would have another insane opponent in the future. He forcefully used the Extreme Emperor Blade, but he was unable to stop young Master Ming Xiao. He was shocked. Fortunately, his true dragon body protection had reached the second layer and his cultivation had reached the martial arts grandmaster level. His physique was extremely strong, or else his meridians would have been destroyed long ago. A trace of blood seeped out. His cultivation was still too weak to use the Heaven Extreme Tyrant Emperor Saber. If this continued, he would only be able to reach the Supreme Realm. Otherwise, he would not be able to fully use the Heaven Extreme Tyrant Emperor Saber. Offending my heavenly dragon, you deserve to die. He should die for joining forces with the demons. I can keep him alive. Kill them. Li Lingtian stared coldly at the army of tens of millions. His tone was sinister as if it came from the netherworld. After he finished speaking, he circulated his vital essence, and the ice river split appeared in his hand. He landed in the sky above the armies of Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire. With a wave of his hand, frost fell from the sky, and the temperature between heaven and earth plummeted. In an instant, 100-mile-wide glacier formed, and the million-strong army turned into ice sculptures. The Demon King Beast and the silver-winged flying dragon also joined the battle. Their opponents were both martial emperors and martial grandmasters. A level 5, level 7 silver-winged flying dragon was equivalent to a level 7 martial emperor, and a level 6 Demon King Beast was equivalent to a martial honor. Its strength was even more terrifying than a second-level martial honor. All, ah! All, ah! Countless screams rang out as martial grandmasters and martial emperors were quickly killed. At this moment, the millions of soldiers and experts of Sky Dragon City charged out and the battle began. Li Lingtian's ice river split stopped after 3 tries. With his cultivation base, he could only unleash it 3 times at full force. His true essence was exhausted. He put a heaven-defying pill into his mouth and stopped fighting. However, his divine sense was locked on to the martial emperors and martial grandmasters here. As long as there was a martial emperor or martial grandmaster who was a threat to the heavenly dragon army and experts, he would kill them in one strike. None of the martial arts grandmasters or martial emperors escaped. Tang Zimeng was piloting the heavenly cloud spaceship. On it were countless martial artists from the Li, Tang, Lan, and Qin families. Lu Yi and Nangong Mingyue were also on it. When the spaceship arrived above the army, Li Lingtian returned to the spaceship in a flash. Kill half of them first. Kill all those above the martial arts grandmaster level. Li Lingtian said coldly. The 8 martial emperors were no match for the 16 martial emperors, but the Infernal King Beast and the silver-winged flying dragon were able to take out a martial emperor grandmaster with each strike. Each strike destroyed tens of thousands of soldiers. At this moment, the battle was one-sided. Shoo! All of the heavenly dragon army gasped. Even the experts felt a chill run down their spines. If he killed half of them first, that would be 5 million. 5 million would be destroyed just like that. Moreover, he had killed half of them first. He would definitely kill the rest. Big brother Ling Tian, how are you? Tang Zimeng came to Li Lingtian's side and carefully observed his body. Li Lingtian had suffered quite a few attacks during the battle. The rest of the warriors were watching Li Lingtian from the back of the spaceship. They had widened the gap between them. The young man from before was now a heaven-defying powerhouse. It's fine. One just need to rest for a few days. A comforting smile appeared on Li Lingtian's face before he greeted Li Suifeng and Qin Susu. He also greeted Tang Zicheng and his wife, as well as the Lan and Qin families. His strength was terrifying, but he didn't care about his family at all. This was because he understood one thing. The pursuit of powerful strength was to use strength to protect his family and enjoy a happy life. If he didn't even want his family, then it was useless no matter how strong he was. Lu Yi and Nangong Mingyue also nodded in greeting. This young man had undergone a heaven-defying change. Your Majesty, after this battle, those who remain will either submit or die. Reorganize the army and the 4 empires to prevent any more trouble. After Li Lingtian greeted his family, he came before Nangong Haoming and cupped his fists to greet him. The speaker was not serious, but the listener was serious. Immediately, everyone on the spaceship was stunned. They had just avoided a calamity and now they were going to organize the 4 great empires. They understood Li Lingtian's intention to unify Green Province. This was a crazy idea. For tens of thousands of years, the Green Continent had never been unified. It was not that no one wanted to unify it, but that they did not have the strength. Let's discuss this matter properly. Moreover, there are countless super experts and forces in Green Continent. It will be a little troublesome for Sky Dragon Empire to organize the four empires. Nangong Haoming was extremely excited. There was no emperor who did not wish to unify the world. Naturally, he was excited when he heard Li Lingtian's words. However, he hesitated when he thought about the empire's strength. It's up to you to discuss. I need to collect some materials. After a while, I'll go to Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire. I heard that the resources in the Northern Nether Empire are not bad either, so I won't miss it. I'm going back to rest for a while. I'm a little tired. You guys do as you see fit here. I'll leave it here for a while. Li Lingtian pointed at the infernal king beast with a strange smile on his face. However, it's not to be trifled with. As long as it's a martial emperor or above, it will kill anyone who enters Sky Dragon City. Alright, go back and recuperate. We can deal with the matters here. Nangong Haoming was shocked. There were still millions of soldiers fighting here. Most of the martial monarchs had been lulled, and even the martial grandmasters had been killed. However, if Li Lingtian were to leave, it would be over if a powerhouse came. He was relieved to hear that Li Lingtian had left the gigantic infernal king beast behind. With a wave of his hand, everyone left the spaceship. Naturally, they understood Li Lingtian's intention to chase them away. Li Lingtian's relatives were the only ones left on the spaceship while the rest of them left. Tang Zimeng piloted the spaceship and quickly entered Sky Dragon City. In the end, the spacecraft was put away above the North Marquee residence. Li Lingtian greeted Li Suifeng and the rest before entering his courtyard. Everyone knew that Li Lingtian had just gone through a huge battle and would definitely need to recuperate. Hence, no one disturbed him. Naturally, Tang Zimeng and Qingping were with Li Lingtian. Tang Zimeng was Li Lingtian's fiancée, so it was normal for them to be together. In the room, Li Lingtian's expression was calm as he tossed a myriad spirit pill into his mouth and began to regulate his breathing. However, there were only a few of the 10,000 spirit pills left. He had forgotten the pill formula of the 10,000 spirit pill in Medicine King's Valley last time, and now he regretted it. If he were to refine the myriad spirit pill himself, it would definitely be better than the Medicine King's Valley's myriad spirit pill. The battle with young Master Ming Xiao, a 7th-level martial emperor, might not seem dangerous, but he was the only one who truly understood. In such a battle, the slightest distraction would lead to eternal damnation. However, what satisfied him the most was the power of transposition. He had only grasped a little of this skill, but it actually had such magical power. As for the storage bags of those martial emperors, they were all in his hands. However, they were nothing to his wealth. They were just icing on the cake. However, the storage bags of 16 martial emperors contained more than 1 billion spiritual stones. His current net worth had reached 3 billion. Furthermore, there were countless spirit weapons and profound level weapons that were piled up in the Divine Dragon Ring. He did not even want to use them, let alone profound level weapons. He did not even want to use Imperial weapons now. There was no need for that. As long as he could control the Sky Sword and the Heaven Extreme Tyrant Emperor Saber, he would have the ability to gain a foothold. Moreover, there was also a spatial banner. These were all heaven-defying treasures. Needless to say, the Heaven and Earth Creation Cauldron and the Roaring Dragon Combat Halberd were his most important treasures. He hadn't counted the spiritual stones and treasures in the Demonic Canyon. If he exchanged all these treasures for spiritual stones, his net worth would be greater than that of all the martial royal realm experts in the Green Continent combined. It took 3 days to recover. During these 3 days, the entire Sky Dragon Empire was shaken. The experts from Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire who had rushed over were shocked to death when they discovered that their army of tens of millions had been swallowed. 10 million soldiers, 16 martial monarchs, half of the army was killed, and all the martial monarchs and martial grandmasters were dead. Moreover, even Ming Xiao had been defeated and escaped. The master of all this was just a young martial arts grandmaster. That was the number one genius of Sky Dragon Empire, young Master Ling Tian. When he saw the tens of millions of soldiers disappearing and the martial monarch dying, the experts who rushed over immediately fled Sky Dragon City. The Devil King Beast had been guarding outside Sky Dragon City. It had received Li Lingtian's instructions to kill anyone with a cultivation base of a martial emperor or above. Sky Dragon Empire also resisted with all their might and quickly took back the fallen cities. One city after another was once again in the hands of Sky Dragon Empire. All the experts in the world knew that Tianjin Empire and South Mountain Empire had joined hands with the four mysterious families and colluded with the demons. The Northern Nether Empire didn't participate in this war, and no one said that they were colluding with the demons. However, the news of the four great sects of the Northern Nether Empire joining forces to attack Sky Cloud sect had spread throughout the world. In the Green Continent, young noble Ling Tian's name had shocked the world. Even if one didn't know the names of their parents, they wouldn't forget who young noble Ling Tian was. It was a legend where a martial ancestor killed a martial emperor. A 7th-level martial emperor, Ming Xiao, was also beaten up by young Master Ling Tian. In the end, he almost died in young Master Ling Tian's hands, but he managed to escape. He believed that it would be impossible for him to recover his cultivation in a few years. When they thought of the battle on Demonic Mountain half a year ago, everyone guessed that it was Li Lingtian. Now, Li Lingtian had a Tier 5 Level 7 silver-winged flying dragon and a Tier 6 Demon King beast. With such strength, even the most powerful powerhouse in Green Province would not be his match. Chapter 184, Chapter 184, Lord Dark Knight. Chapter 184, Lord Dark Knight. Everyone in Green Province knew of young noble Ling Tian. Moreover, the Emperor of Sky Dragon Empire had also given the order to reorganize Sky Dragon Empire. Those who could see the situation understood that something big had happened in Sky Dragon Empire. If it was in the past, no one would dare to believe that Sky Dragon Empire would dare to make any moves. Sky Dragon Empire was the weakest among the four empires. It was called an empire only because of the size of its territory. Moreover, when the population reached a certain number, Sky Dragon Empire was practically an exception in Green Island. This was because Sky Dragon Empire was a dynasty for ordinary people. It was only supported by a few super sects and families. Moreover, these sects and families were nothing compared to other empires. To put it bluntly, even a mysterious family was stronger than Sky Dragon Empire. However, a young Master Ling Tian had appeared in Sky Dragon Empire. He had single-handedly defeated more than 10 martial emperors. The two great battles had already displayed Li Lingtian's true strength. He had made his debut on the Sons of Heaven rankings, killed Shimin Xian in Sky Cloud sect, killed Heaven's Roars sect, and killed Dongfang Yu. The battle with young Master Ming Xiao in Sky Dragon City was a miraculous formation, and it could be said to be a peerless monster. With such a person, few powerhouses could stop him. More importantly, Li Lingtian had a Demon King beast which was a Tier 6 existence. A 6th-order Devil King beast was equivalent to a human Supreme Realm expert. A Supreme Realm expert could only be considered an expert in other places. However, in the Green Continent, a Supreme Realm expert could sweep through the Green Continent and be invincible. While Li Lingtian was cultivating in the Marquisdom, the higher-ups of Tianjin Empire, Beiyu Empire, and Southern Mountain Empire were in an uproar. The four mysterious families' expressions were also extremely ugly. 10 million troops and 16 martial emperors were gone just like that. More importantly, young Master Ming Xiao had been defeated and almost lost his reputation. It was not a big deal if they were defeated by Sky Dragon City. What was more important was that they were worried about Li Lingtian's anger. If a Tier 1 martial arts grandmaster could even defeat a Tier 7 martial emperor, young Master Ming Xiao, what other powerhouse could possibly defeat Li Lingtian? If Li Lingtian came to his side, his empire and clan would be in trouble. Furthermore, they had encountered some trouble after young Master Ming Zhao's defeat. How is that possible? Didn't Li Lingtian perish on Demonic Mountain some time ago? How did he come out again? He's even reached the martial arts Grandmaster realm. A martial arts Grandmaster defeated a Tier 7 martial emperor. Sigh. After receiving the news, Tian Hanyu's expression changed drastically. Only an emperor like him understood the war. His empires had joined forces to attack the Heavenly Dragon and almost became slaves of a fallen country. If the Heavenly Dragon was replaced, he would definitely take revenge. There were not many people in Tianjin Empire who could stand against Li Lingtian. This Li Lingtian is too monstrous. He even defeated Ming Xiao. It seems like Ming Xiao cast a forbidden spell in the end, causing his cultivation base to plummet. It'll take him 3 to 5 years to recover to the 7th tier martial emperor realm. Among the 4 mysterious families, Duanmu Ruo's expression was also ugly. There were 16 martial emperors, and the Duanmu family had 2 of them. 2 martial emperors were destroyed just like that. There's no point in saying anything else. Li Lingtian's strength is terrifying. He might have already set his sights on us. Let's think of a way to get rid of him. We can't let him live or we'll be wiped out of Green Continent sooner or later. Gongsun Nanyu said coldly. They were both family and business owners while Li Lingtian was alone. Furthermore, he was a terrifying figure. Such a figure was the most terrifying. Initially, we should not have agreed to this. If we don't get to eat the mutton, we'll be in trouble. Yu Zhou will never let us off so easily. Li Lingtian is another threat. Wang Yuge said calmly. Thinking about how his Wang clan had agreed to deal with Sky Dragon Empire, he was starting to regret it. Gathering for benefits and dispersing for benefits. In this world, no matter when, it was always the same. It's too late to say all this. Didn't your Wang family agree to it faster than anyone else? If you had the heaven-mending pill, your Wang family would still have a chance to become a martial honor. Now, you regret it when you encounter a little trouble. It's just Li Lingtian. No matter how powerful a martial arts grandmaster is, he's still a martial arts grandmaster. Even if they win this time, do you think they're invincible? Besides, we didn't defeat Ming Xiao. They broke the contract first. If Ming Xiao doesn't lose, Sky Dragon City will fall. Our plan will be ruined. Do you think you can trust the people from Yuzhou province? The old man beside Tian Hanyu said sharply. The powerful aura of a 7th-level martial emperor burst out from his body. Instantly, the martial emperors below were all shocked. Only they knew the difference between a rank 7 martial emperor and a rank 6 martial emperor. It was impossible to describe the difference. That's right. Brother Xiaoling is right. It's just a merely Lingtian. He's a Tier 1 martial arts grandmaster. Although he's powerful, he's only a martial arts grandmaster. Any one of us could have killed it. It's just that the army was satisfied with the array formation. If we had used our own array formation, one don't believe that Li Lingtian has the ability to do so. One just need to find a way to get rid of that Demon King beast. No matter what, it's always a threat. Bai Mingyu replied coldly. He was right. The 4 mysterious families and the 3 great empires could easily wipe out Li Lingtian and the Heavenly Dragon even if they were in one of the sections. However, they were worried about the King Beast. A 6th-rank King Beast was extremely terrifying. No martial emperor could deal with it. A martial emperor was powerful. Even a peak rank 9 martial emperor would be nothing more than an ant when facing a first heaven martial honored realm expert. Brother Dark North is right. This King Beast isn't easy to deal with. As long as the Devil King Beast is taken care of, one believe it'll be the time for Li Lingtian to fall. Think of a way to separate the Demon King Beast from Li Lingtian and kill Li Lingtian in a short time. This Demon King Beast is ownerless. If we can subdue it, who else in Green Continent will be our match? But it's not that easy to deal with a king beast. We have to use an array. Actually, the 12 of us and brother Xiaoling should be able to kill the demon king beast. All of a sudden, the hall was abuzz with discussions revolving around the demon king beast. In their opinion, Li Lingtian's strength was mostly due to the demon king beast. As long as the infernal king beast and Li Lingtian were separated, Li Lingtian would be completely finished. Just as everyone was fretting over the matter of the demon king beast, a sinister voice sounded. As the voice fell, a byac-robed figure was already sitting on a seat in the hall. I can deal with the demon king beast. However, His Highness Ming Xiao has been seriously injured this time. His lord is already angry. You can do whatever you want. The black-robed figure said darkly, his body emitting a dense black aura. The lord was already furious when he thought of how young Master Ming Xiao had been defeated. Young Master Ming Xiao was the most talented of the 3 disciples of the lord, but he was defeated by a martial arts grandmaster from Green Island. How could he not be furious? If Li Lingtian was not eliminated, it would be difficult to take down Sky Dragon City. If Lord Dark Knight makes a move, the Devil King Beast will naturally be captured easily. Hearing that the black-robed man was going to deal with the Demon King Beast, the dozen or so experts in the hall immediately became excited. Li Lingtian had at least 3 holy weapons in his possession. Once he had the Demon King Beast, it would be much easier to deal with Li Lingtian. At that time, he would have killed Li Lingtian and obtained the 3 sacred weapons. Coupled with his martial emperor cultivation base, he would be able to wield the sacred weapons and Li Lingtian would be no match for him. With a 6th level martial emperor and a saint weapon, even a 8th level or 9th level martial emperor could be killed. It's not that easy to deal with a Devil King Beast. Although I'm a first heaven martial honored realm, the Devil King Beast is a tier 6 magical beast with terrifying strength. Furthermore, there's Li Lingtian. It'll take a lot of effort to deal with it. The main thing is that one can't make a move here. If one deal with martial artists in Green Island, one will encounter that person. 300 years ago, he was already at the 2nd level of martial honored realm. With that heaven artifact, I can only run away. That's why I can't deal with Li Lingtian openly. Otherwise, one would have gotten rid of him long ago. I wouldn't have caused so much trouble. Dark Knight said coldly as his body emitted a murderous aura. He had received a lot of punishment for defeating young Master Ming Xiao this time. If he did not kill Li Lingtian, it would be difficult to dispel the hatred in his heart. However, he could not kill Li Lingtian because his identity did not allow him to do so. If he killed Li Lingtian, he would be wiped out by the super powerhouse from Green Continent. Moreover, all the people of Yuzhou would be attacked by the entire continent. He could not let Li Lingtian ruin his plans. Lord Dark Knight, don't worry. As long as Lord Dark Knight can restrain the Devil King Beast, we'll kill Li Lingtian. Yeah, he's just a Wu Zone. Once we kill Li Lingtian, no one in Sky Dragon Empire will be able to stop us. If it wasn't for this battle, I really wouldn't have known that such a heaven-defying monster had appeared in Heavenly Dragon. All of a sudden, the dozen or so super powerhouses were excited. As long as they could kill Li Lingtian, the matter would be settled. They also understood that the Dark Knight was holding back the Demon King Beast because they were tempted by it. They also wanted this Demon King Beast, but it was not so easy to control it. As for Li Lingtian, he had been cultivating in his room in Sky Dragon City, comprehending cultivation techniques, cultivating skills, and refining pills. He rarely went out for a stroll. With his current status and identity, no one in Sky Dragon Empire could compare to him, not even Emperor Nangong Haoming. In this world, the strong were respected. Although Li Lingtian was the heir of Marquis Pingbei, he was the one who could fend off an army of tens of millions. If it weren't for him, Sky Dragon Empire would have been destroyed long ago. Countless Sky Dragon Empire martial artists worshipped and respected him. In the hearts of martial artists, Li Lingtian was Sky Dragon Empire's strongest and most prestigious figure. He was an undefeated legend. As the days passed, Li Lingtian continued to refine elixirs. His alchemy skills had improved significantly and his cultivation had reached the peak of a Tier 1 martial arts grandmaster. A few powerful skills had also been successfully upgraded. Although they had not broken through, their power had increased quite a bit. Chapter 185, Chapter 185, Time Gap, 1. Chapter 185, Time Gap, 1. On this day, Li Lingtian opened the Divine Dragon Ring and a figure appeared before him. Young Master, the cultivation speed inside is 3 times faster than outside. If I had cultivated for a while more, one would have reached rank for Martial King. What a pity. Wu Yun left the Divine Dragon Ring with a trace of excitement and reluctance on his face. One day inside was equivalent to 3 times the achievement outside. No matter how talented a martial artist was, he still needed a cultivation environment. Cultivating in the Divine Dragon Ring was much faster than cultivating outside even without using pills. It turned out that Li Lingtian had been cultivating for a long time. He thought about the safety of Tang Zimeng and the rest in the future. If he left, Tang Zimeng and the rest would not be able to protect themselves. However, after seeing his Divine Dragon Ring, he thought of calling Tang Zimeng and the others into the Divine Dragon Ring. However, the Divine Dragon Ring was an independent space. Demonic beasts and plants could stay inside, and he could also enter. However, he was the master of the Divine Dragon Ring, so there was naturally no problem. If Tang Zimeng and the others entered, they might be in danger. Thinking up to here, he naturally wanted to let a person be a lab rat. There were countless guards in the North Peace Marquis estate, so letting them in was naturally the best. Wu Yun had become a lab rat who could not hold on after cultivating for a day. Li Lingtian was always aware of the situation in the Divine Dragon Ring. He had called Wu Yun out when he noticed Wu Yun's condition. "How long have you been in there?" Li Lingtian asked calmly. He had heard before that an independent space was independent of space and even time. His Divine Dragon Ring was definitely a space supreme treasure. Naturally, he wanted to know if the time inside was different from the outside. "Young Master, this subordinate has been inside for 2 whole days." Wu Yun was taken aback. He could not understand why the young master would ask him since he knew the time best. However, when Li Lingtian asked him, he answered without hesitation. 2 days, not bad. This is your limit. This is for you. Go back and cultivate. Li Lingtian was excited but his expression did not change. He then handed a bottle of pills to Wu Yun and asked him to leave. There is indeed a time limit for warriors to enter the Divine Dragon Ring. 1 day outside is 2 days inside. In other words, the time difference between inside and outside is twice as big. After Wu Yun left, Li Lingtian muttered to himself. As the owner of the Divine Dragon Ring, he was naturally unable to sense the time restriction. The demonic beast's body was strong enough that it was not affected by the time restriction. He was not surprised when Wu Yun said that the cultivation was 3 times that of the outside world. The spirit chi and dragon chi inside were so dense that the divine martial continent could not compare to them. He thought about it for a moment. He dared to bring Tang Zimeng and the others along in Green Island because they could enter the Divine Dragon Ring during the battle. Moreover, even the most powerful warrior in Green Island couldn't kill him. Even if he couldn't defeat him, he could still escape. However, he did not dare to bring Tang Zimeng with him if he went to other places. If he was injured and fainted, he would not be able to control the Divine Dragon Ring, and the people inside the Divine Dragon Ring would be in danger. "Big brother Ling Tian, can we go in and cultivate now?" Tang Zimeng did not interrupt Li Lingtian's muttering. She only asked softly after Li Lingtian was deep in thought. She naturally knew that Wu Yun had entered the Divine Dragon Ring, and she also understood that big brother Ling Tian was worried about her, so he called Wu Yun in to be a lab rat. Now that Wu Yun had come out safely, there was naturally no impact. "Alright, the 4 of you can go in, but be careful." Li Lingtian nodded and the 4 of them retracted their divine consciousness. Li Lingtian activated the Divine Dragon Ring and stored the 4 of them inside. Li Lingtian's divine consciousness followed suit and entered the divine dragon ring. He was the original body and could not enter it easily. If he did, the divine dragon ring would fall into the hands of others. Unless there was a strong protection, he would not enter. Just like the last time on Demonic Mountain, with Xiao Bai and the others guarding, he had also reached the point of despair. Otherwise, he would not enter easily. However, his divine sense could easily enter. His divine sense could also form a phantom inside, and he could ignore the existence of space inside. Wow, so beautiful. These are all my 10,000-year-old medicinal herbs. So many spirit fruits. These are 1,000-year-old ones, and there are also 10,000-year-old ones. These are all edible spiritual fruits. The four of them were stunned when they saw the scenery inside the divine dragon ring. The place that Li Lingtian had them enter was not far from the herb garden. Naturally, it was not a place like the Dragon Abyss. Moreover, in the Heavenly Devil Canyon, he had transplanted countless spiritual fruits, trees, and flowers into the divine dragon ring. Inside the divine dragon ring, a perfect world with a radius of 50 miles appeared. The herb garden was 10 miles in size. 100-year herbs, 1,000-year herbs, 10,000-year-old herbs, these herbs were all separated into pieces. The most precious herbs and spiritual fruits were all in the center. The 5 elements rainbow tree and several other important trees were all covered with restrictions, as he was worried that they would be affected. If you're hungry, eat these spiritual fruits, but don't go to the medicine garden. There was a faint smile on Li Lingtian's apparition's face. Such a herb garden was definitely the only one in the divine martial continent. All the spirit fruits he obtained on Hidden Dragon Island were plucked, and only a few trees were brought in. Naturally, Tang Zimeng and the others did not need to touch the other spiritual fruits and herbs. Yes. Tang Zimeng nodded. She knew what Li Lingtian meant. If someone who did not know alchemy touched the herbs, a 10,000-year-old herb might be ruined. Moreover, there were a few trees with restrictions in the depths. In a place like this, even though Big Brother Ling Tian was the ruler, he still had to use restrictions. One could only imagine how important those medicinal herbs were. Young master, what are those trees in the center? There are so many beautiful fruits. Xiao Xiao looked at the 5-element rainbow tree in the center, and her eyes immediately sparkled. She was extremely curious about these beautiful fruits. That's a 5-element spiritual fruit. A martial emperor will have a chance to become a martial honor if he eats one. This 5-element spiritual fruit has been around for tens of thousands of years, but there are only 125 of them. At that time, I had no choice but to uproot it and move the mud within a radius of dozens of meters in. The one next to it is the limitless Tao fruit. If a martial arts grandmaster eats one, he can break through to the martial emperor realm. That is a snow lotus fruit. That's a 5,000-year-old cloud earth fruit. That green one is the evergreen smoke fruit. That golden 5,000-year-old golden dragon fruit. With a smile on his face, Li Lingtian introduced the fruits slowly. Any one of these fruits would be earth-shattering. He introduced them slowly, but the 4 girls were stunned. Eating one of the limitless Tao fruit could allow a grandmaster to break through to the martial emperor realm. Eating one of the 5-element spiritual fruits could allow a martial emperor to break through to the martial honored realm. If these were taken out, wouldn't the Azure continent be overturned? Not to mention the Azure continent, even in the entire divine martial continent, there probably wouldn't be a second 5-element rainbow tree. In the divine martial continent, resources were always the most competitive. These treasures were all heaven-defying existences. If the 5-element spirit fruit is taken out, the green continent will definitely be in chaos. Qing Ping said with a smile. What kind of concept was it for a martial emperor to break through to the martial honored realm? It was unimaginable for a martial king like her. This limitless Tao fruit, if that one was sold, it would be worth at least 100 million. Moreover, it's priceless. As for the 5-element spirit fruit, one believed that even if the experts in the Azure continent pawn the empire and the family, they will still come to exchange for the 5 elements spirit fruit. This is because if an empire and a family have a martial honor, they will dominate the Azure continent. Li Lingtian said with a smile. He was not exaggerating at all. The limitless Tao fruit was a deadly temptation for a martial arts grandmaster powerhouse. However, a martial arts grandmaster could not afford many spiritual stones. If a martial arts grandmaster were to fork out 1 billion spiritual stones, the limitless Tao fruit would be their first choice. However, he didn't use these precious treasures to eat, but to refine elixirs. A 5-element spirit fruit might be able to make a martial emperor become a martial honor, but in his hands, he could make a 5-element spirit fruit exert 10 times or 100 times its power. This was because he could refine these fruits into medicinal pills. He could divide a fruit into countless portions and refine them. Naturally, the effects of this fruit would be countless times greater than the original. You guys cultivate. Cultivate hard. When the time comes, this spiritual fruit will be yours. Li Lingtian said with a smile. Finally, he withdrew his divine consciousness from the divine dragon ring and began cultivating once he was out of the ring. However, he did not meditate on cultivation techniques. Instead, he cultivated the heaven and earth reincarnation technique or looked at the names and sources of materials. This was because he was worried that Tang Zimeng and the others would not be distracted by his cultivation. If anything happened to them inside, he would regret it. Finally, after a day, Li Lingtian could feel Tang Zimeng and the other 3's greeting. In other words, they had reached their limits. The 4 of them left the divine dragon ring with their divine senses. Nothing unusual happened, but their cultivation increased a little. How is it? What's wrong? Li Lingtian asked hurriedly. He was only curious when Wu Yun came out, but now that Tang Zimeng and the others had come out, he was worried. It's fine. It's the same as cultivating outside. It's just that the speed of cultivation is much faster. Tang Zimeng's heart was filled with sweetness as she knew that Li Lingtian was worried about them. She gently held Li Lingtian's arm with her small hand and pressed her face against his arm. It's good that you're fine. We'll cultivate for a few more days before we return to Sky Cloud sect. Li Lingtian was only slightly relieved after he sized up the 4 of them again and made sure that there was nothing wrong with them. The 4 girls felt shy when Li Lingtian sized them up. Lu Min was the main one. As Tang Qingyue's maid in Sky Cloud sect, her status was naturally not comparable to Xiao Xiao and Qingping. Xiao Xiao was Li Lingtian's maid since young and they were often together. Tang Zimeng was Li Lingtian's fiancée and wife while Qingping was Tang Zimeng's maid and personal servant. She would be marrying into the Li family with Tang Zimeng in the future. Chapter 186, 9 Palaces 8 Trigrams Attack and Chapter 186, 9 Palaces 8 Trigrams Attack and Defense Array. 5 days later, after Li Lingtian had arranged everything, he flew toward Sky Cloud sect with Tang Zimeng and the others. This time, Qin Susu followed Li Lingtian to Sky Cloud sect. Li Suifeng was Heavenly Dragon's Marquis Pingbei. The war was about to begin and he had to lead his troops to battle. However, Li Lingtian had given 2 emperor weapons to Li Suifeng and he had some life-saving tricks up his sleeve. Qin Susu had nothing much to do in the North Marquis residence. Li Lingtian would feel more at ease if she went to Sky Cloud sect. No matter what, Sky Cloud sect was powerful and no one dared to go there. Li Lingtian and the others were chatting and laughing on the huge spaceship as it flew high in the sky. In 2 days, the Sky Cloud ship landed in Sky Cloud sect. Countless disciples were excited. Li Lingtian had reached a point where no one could be jealous of him. After returning to the Tianyu Pavilion, Qin Susu settled down while Li Lingtian and the others cultivated in peace. Needless to say, the news of his return had long spread to the higher-ups of Sky Cloud sect. Not long after, Ling Tianfeng arrived at Tianyu Peak. These are the materials you asked for some time ago, but we only collected a small portion. Li Lingtian handed the storage pouch to Li Lingtian. Now that he was in front of Li Lingtian, he was polite to Li Lingtian. "Oh, these materials are very important and will be needed in the near future. Don't stop collecting materials. After a while, I'll go out to look for materials. Sect Master, find 3 reliable martial arts grandmasters. I'll create an array for Sky Cloud Sect. If we use it well, even a martial honor won't be able to break it. As long as we have enough materials, even a martial honor can easily kill it." Li Lingtian took the storage bag and sent his divine consciousness into it. He was disappointed to find that only 1/3 of the materials needed to build the aircraft carrier were not important materials. However, he could create a defensive offensive array to protect Sky Cloud Sect. Thinking of this, he felt a little relieved. At least no one in Green Continent could break Sky Cloud Sect, so he could rest assured after he left. A grand array that can kill a Supreme Realm expert. Ling Tianfeng was shocked and immediately exclaimed. What kind of existence was a martial honor? He could easily kill hundreds of martial emperors. He was an invincible existence. In the Green Continent, the figure of a martial honor appeared 300 years ago. At that time, a martial honor was invincible. Just the pressure alone was enough to suppress a martial emperor. What kind of concept was it to create a grand array that could kill a Supreme Realm expert? If anyone else said it, he would definitely think that person was crazy. However, when Li Lingtian said it, even if he was shocked and did not believe it, he did not dare to doubt it because Li Lingtian's strength was there for all to see. Furthermore, he had secretly modified the Li Fire Xian Yang formation the last time, so he naturally believed a lot. Not bad. This Li Fire Xian Yang array is indeed not bad, but it's only effective against martial emperors. If you encounter a freak like Ming Xiao, you can easily break it. When Li Lingtian thought of Ming Xiao's strength and the demonic board in his hands, he felt apprehensive. Killing intent had already appeared in his heart. If he encountered it again, he would definitely kill it. He could not let this person control the demonic board. Otherwise, it would always be a big problem. Then I'll get the disciples below to hurry up and find the materials. Ling Tianfeng was extremely excited and left Tianyu Peak. If he had such a grand array, he would not have to worry about the attack of a martial monarch. If you can't get the materials, send me the news. I'll get them back personally. Li Lingtian's indifferent voice traveled into Ling Tianfeng's ears. Upon hearing Li Lingtian's words, Ling Tianfeng paused for a moment and smiled bitterly in his heart. He even took it back personally. What an arrogant tone, as if Green Island was his world. However, he believed in Li Lingtian's capabilities and he had the ability to do so. As long as it was not a martial honored realm expert, no one could defeat him because he had a Demon King Beast by his side. This Demon King Beast could sweep away experts below the martial honored realm. Even if it was facing a first-level martial honored realm expert, it could still fight. On Tianyu Peak, Lu Min accompanied Qin Susu while Tang Zimeng and the 2 little girls surrounded Li Lingtian whenever they were free. Li Lingtian continued to draw the mysterious object. After 5 days, a 1-meter-wide structure appeared on the paper. There were black lines on the white paper. On it was a huge and magnificent spaceship. Although it was only a meter long, the size and grandeur of the spaceship could be seen from the painting. However, this spaceship was slightly different from ordinary spaceships. There were countless mysterious circles on the huge structure. There were also countless numbers and data that only Li Lingtian could understand. There was no one else in this world who could understand them. Even warlocks, array masters, and even construction masters and blacksmiths could not understand it. This was because it was the basic structure of an aircraft carrier. Although Li Lingtian was Sanwu in his previous life, he was still a university student and was interested in weapons. Although he did not know how to build an aircraft carrier, he could combine the knowledge from his previous life with the conditions of this life. The heavenly cloud flying ship was like an egg. Others said that they drew circles like an egg, but he drew circles like an egg. The heavenly cloud spaceship wasn't small anymore. As long as it was slightly modified and the interior was changed, it would be the shell of an aircraft carrier. Together with the knowledge in the divine array diagram, he could create an aircraft carrier of the divine Martial continent. Big brother Ling Tian, what's this? Like a spaceship? Young master, are you going to build a spaceship? The three women looked at the structure on the blueprint curiously. There was no such blueprint in the divine Martial continent, so they had never seen it before. During this period of time, I want to modify the heavenly cloud flying ship and add an offensive formation on it. Hee, then I can kill my opponents without limit. Li Lingtian smiled as his face lit up with excitement. If he wanted to modify the spaceship, he had to at least ensure that it would not be threatened by a martial royal realm powerhouse. This way, it could be considered a true aircraft carrier. In his previous life, those aircraft carriers were also afraid of missiles. He was not so stupid. He had to first set up defenses. Defense, speed, and attack power were 3 in 1. This was perfection. When will it be completed? Tang Zimeng said excitedly. She was a peerless beauty, but she was only 18 years old. She was still a young girl, so she was naturally very curious. Not in a short period of time, because we lack some materials. As long as we find the materials, we can build such a powerful spaceship. Li Lingtian said. The materials they were looking for were all precious items. Even if Sky Cloud's sect gave the order to search for them, they might not be able to find them. Now that the blueprint was complete, he had to start preparing the offensive and defensive array formations. Following that, Tang Zimeng and the rest cultivated in peace while Li Lingtian went into seclusion in his room to study the divine array diagram. He wanted to complete Sky Cloud's sect's array formation before he left. After a month, Li Lingtian walked out of his room with a smile on his face. 9 palaces 8 trigrams formation, hee. Even if a Supreme Realm expert comes, he will be destroyed here. Li Lingtian replied calmly. His body flashed as he quickly scanned Sky Cloud's sect's surroundings. After a full hour, they finally saw Sky Cloud's sect. Take all the disciples of Sky Cloud's sect back to their rooms and kill them one by one. Li Lingtian said coldly. There were tens of thousands of disciples in Sky Cloud's sect and he did not want anyone to see him building a formation. The formation was the sect's defense. Naturally, such a thing could not be spread out. Moreover, he was worried that someone would know where Jin Xian was and how to break it. Ling Haoming and Ling Tianfeng were stunned for a moment before understanding the situation. They were extremely excited. The more Li Lingtian behaved like this, the more powerful the array was. Then, 11 martial arts grandmasters flew down and quickly gave orders to all the disciples outside to enter the room. They would kill anyone who left the room and those who used their divine sense. This formation is called the 9 Palaces 8 Trigrams Attack and Defense Formation. The main formation has 81 formations, and the secondary formation has 64 formations. It can attack, kill, and defend as one. There are 3,600 auxiliary formations. In this world, no one can break them except for me. Not even gods can break them. When there's a great calamity, all we have to do is gather all the disciples together. As long as it's not attacked by experts above the Supreme Realm, we can kill them directly. As Li Lingtian spoke calmly, the dozen or so powerhouses listened attentively. Their expressions changed drastically but they did not dare to make a sound. Following that, Li Lingtian led his men to set up the formation and cast a series of magic arts. After a day, Li Lingtian's body was drenched and he was extremely weak. However, he was pleasantly surprised because the 9 Palaces 8 Trigrams offensive and defensive formation had been successfully completed. Even though the others did not make a move, they were still shocked by Li Lingtian's amazing technique. It was only after they were numb to it that they relaxed a little. They were no longer surprised by Li Lingtian. The 3 points were the 3 array cores. Beside each array core, there were countless small array formations. These array formations were to assist the array core. In the end, Li Lingtian placed countless array formations within a 500-mile radius of Sky Cloud sect. When the array formations were activated, endless spirit chi quickly gathered towards Sky Cloud sect. Although these formations were just ordinary spirit-gathering formations, which were simple to Li Lingtian, they appeared to be miraculous and heaven-defying to those who did not understand formations. The shocking spiritual energy directly increased the density of the spiritual energy in Sky Cloud sect by 10 times. Even the outer disciples enjoyed the shocking density of the spiritual energy. Alright, they can come out and cultivate. After Li Lingtian had done everything, he spoke indifferently. He did not even have the strength to speak. This day was the most tiring day of his life. Not to mention his true essence, he had no strength at all. In the end, the other martial arts grandmasters left, leaving only Ling Tianfeng and Ling Haoming on the top of the mountain. Chapter 187, Chapter 187, Linglong City, 1. Chapter 187, Linglong City, 1. They've all seen this array core and array formation. What if? Ling Haoming said seriously as he looked at Li Lingtian. Although he did not finish his sentence, the three of them understood. Don't worry. The three formation cores are just a supporting formation. It's just a facade. Even you can't break it. I've said it before. In this world, no one can break this array apart from me. This is because breaking this array requires a magic art. More importantly, you need my blood essence, and you need my wisdom blood essence. Do you think there's anyone in this world who can make my wisdom blood essence appear? Other than that, one still can't break this formation. Because other than me, this formation is unbreakable. It can attack, kill, and defend as one. However, after activating this array, all living beings within 1,000 miles of Sky Cloud sect were wiped out except for the people in this array. Li Lingtian laughed loudly after he finished speaking. The multicolored beast appeared before him and he rode it away from Tianyun Peak. In the blink of an eye, Li Lingtian's figure disappeared, leaving Ling Haoming and Ling Tianfeng standing on the mountaintop in a daze. What a monster! Is he still a young man? He actually calculated so well that he didn't even leave a single flaw. Ling Tianfeng watched Li Lingtian leave for a long time before a bitter smile appeared on his face. This young man had risen to prominence a few years ago and had now reached a height that he could only look up to. An array formation actually had so many schemes. The array core was just a disguise. Sky Cloud sect is lucky to have such a disciple. He told me the way to break this formation. Although there is no way to break it, there is a way to solve it. It's just that he didn't tell me the real way to break it. In front of this person, you really can't play tricks. Otherwise, even if you die, you won't know how you died. Ling Haoming also sighed. A few hundred years had passed, and he had already become smart. However, in front of this young man, he was still very childish. By the time Li Lingtian returned to Tianyu Peak, he was already beyond exhausted. He then went to his room to rest. The consumption of energy was not as simple as the consumption of true essence. It could only be recovered after rest. If energy could be recovered with the heaven-defying pill, then it would be heaven-defying. After resting for 2 full days, his spirit recovered slightly. At the same time, his true essence had also recovered to its peak. Tianyu Peak had been cultivating quietly with 4 beautiful girls accompanying them. Their cultivation life was carefree, but Li Lingtian knew that there were as many powerhouses as there were hairs in this world. There were only martial emperors in the Green Continent, but it did not represent the strength of other places. Only by becoming the strongest could he protect his family and loved ones and cultivate freely. The martial god was a legend in the divine martial continent. However, this legend had appeared before. Only by becoming a martial god could one fight against all the experts. He had to cultivate the heaven and earth reincarnation technique continuously, and he could not relax on the ice, fire, 9 heavens and the heaven-destroying sword formation. Only by becoming a martial god would he become a true expert. Although he was only a small martial arts grandmaster now, he had the heart to become a martial god and had the conviction to become a martial god. When he was cultivating, he did not forget to comprehend alchemy techniques and improve his alchemy techniques. He had cultivated some of his magical and powerful skills to the extreme, even to the perfection of martial arts. Countless Sky Cloud sect disciples joined the army and began to inquire about the whereabouts of the materials. They were only in charge of making inquiries. As long as there was news, they would let the experts obtain it. If it was a material that even a grandmaster could not obtain, they could only inform Li Lingtian. Li Lingtian searched for the materials with great effort and each of them landed in his hands. He had also taken a look. He had already obtained most of the materials. He was only missing the most important materials. 5-colored heaven-mending stone, mysterious yang white jade bead, 10,000-year heavenly fire liquid, 10,000-year seabed frost iron, meteorite and star fragment. Any one of these items was a priceless treasure, an important material for refining treasures. Moreover, they were all rare items that were rarely seen in 1,000 years. Even if there weren't many of them. These things hadn't been seen in Green Island for many years. If Green Island doesn't get these, the aircraft carrier is just empty talk. Li Lingtian looked at the list of materials. He had already obtained the rest of the materials, but there were still a few important materials that he had not obtained. Moreover, the materials he obtained were not many. At most, he could barely build the core drive of a powerful warship. However, although the missing materials were important, they did not necessarily have to be gathered together. As long as he had 3 of them, he could build an aircraft carrier. After obtaining these 3 materials, he could build an aircraft carrier. Although it was the lowest grade, even the lowest grade was not something that the spaceships in this world could compare to. Moreover, as long as he could build an aircraft carrier, he could obtain other materials in the future to increase the power of the aircraft carrier. Coincidentally, Li Lingtian was studying the construction plan for an aircraft carrier when his disciples sent him a message saying that they had received news of the 10 Millennium Seabed Frosty Iron and the 10 Millennium Skyfire Liquid. However, these 2 things were controlled by super experts. With Sky Cloud sect strength, they could not obtain such things at all. After receiving the news, Li Lingtian left Sky Cloud sect quickly after giving some instructions. This time, he did not drive the spaceship or bring Tang Ziming with him. This was because there was no excitement to see in such an event. There was more danger accompanying it. Northern Nether Empire's Linglan City, the Green Wind sect's place. As Li Lingtian flew through the air, he thought to himself and smiled. The last time the 4 great sects came to Sky Cloud sect, they were planning to take the Tianyu sword. Although they were killed by him, they had no impact on a behemoth like Green Wind sect at all. He couldn't be careless when he headed to the territory of the Northern Nether Empire. After all, he was a martial artist from Sky Dragon Empire, and there were many experts in the Northern Nether Empire. The Northern Nether Empire was not something that Sky Dragon Empire could compare to. Flying in the air was much faster than riding a sword. The feeling of flying in the sky was refreshing. After leaving Sky Cloud sect, he took out a cloak from the Divine Dragon Ring and put it on. The cloak was a light layer of clothing, and his face was hidden by the cloak. However, his figure in white clothes made him look even more elegant. Don't look down on this cloak, it actually had the effect of isolating divine sense. It was also impossible for martial artists to peep. In this way, no one would know his identity. Another thing was that every martial artist had their own identity, and that identity was their martial soul. A martial artist only had one martial soul. It was innate and could not be changed even if he wanted to. Unless he was a super genius. A super genius had 2 kinds of martial souls, one was the main martial soul, and the other was the auxiliary martial soul. Generally speaking, auxiliary martial souls were useless at all. They only assisted the main martial soul. In other words, in this world, a martial soul could represent the identity of a martial artist. Li Lingtian's identity was even more shocking. His ice and fire dual martial souls were known to the world and no one could fake it. However, they did not know that Li Lingtian had a 5 elements martial soul, which was the 5 elements perfection: metal, wood, ice, fire, and earth. The ice element was a variation of the water element, and it was also a sublimation of the water element. Ice and water came from the same source. Ice was hard, and water was soft. The 5 elements' great fulfillment had 5 martial souls, and any one of them was the main martial soul. There were no auxiliary martial souls. After he reached the martial arts grandmaster level, he understood the rules of cultivation. If a martial emperor wanted to break through to the martial honor level, he must have 2 martial souls. If the 2 martial souls complemented each other, he would be able to break through to the martial honor level. Even if one only had 1 martial spirit, after reaching the martial emperor level, they would have to rack their brains to find a way to obtain an auxiliary martial spirit. Otherwise, they would forever be stuck at the martial emperor level. There was another way, and that was the 5 elements spirit fruit. The 5 elements spirit fruit contained the aura and will of the 5 elements martial soul. Li Lingtian was already at the 5 elements perfection. Naturally, he was not worried about this. All he needed to do was to cultivate continuously to elevate his martial soul. Now that he had left Sky Cloud's sect for the Northern Nether Empire's Linglan city, his entire body was emitting a metal elemental aura. Coupled with the cloak's concealment, no one would be able to tell that he was Li Lingtian unless he used Ice, Fire, 9 Heavens or his signature attack, Sword Howl Heaven and Earth. For half a month, they flew in the sky during the day and rested in the mountains at night. Flying at a high speed, he had already entered the realm of the Northern Nether Empire's Linglan city. After arriving at the Northern Nether Empire, he realized that the cultivation resources and the strength of the warriors here were not something that the Sky Dragon Empire could compare to. In Sky Dragon Empire, a warrior spirit disciple was already considered a small powerhouse. He was also a captain in the army. But here, warrior spirit disciples were just trash. They were no different from Heavenly Dragon's warrior level. The identities of the warriors in the 2 empires were obviously different. Martial kings could be seen everywhere. No wonder there were dozens of martial kings and martial arts grandmasters when he went to Sky Cloud's sect last time. Linglan City. One of the 7 main cities of the Northern Nether Empire, Linglan City. Although it couldn't be compared to Sky Dragon City, it was not much different. Moreover, Linglan City was filled with martial artists. The powerful and towering city gave people a visual impact. Li Lingtian flew down and quickly made his way to the city gate. Powerful warriors like him were everywhere in Linglan City, so naturally, his arrival would not surprise anyone. Sir, this is your first time entering Linglan City, right? Entering Linglan City requires 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. A middle-aged patrolling warrior king saluted Li Lingtian with a fist salute before he explained the rules for entering Linglan City. Li Lingtian was no longer surprised. Regardless of where one was, one would need to pay an entrance fee to enter a large city. The only difference was the amount of the administrative fee. Alright, 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. Li Lingtian said coldly. With a wave of his hand, a storage pouch flew toward the middle-aged man. 1,000 low-grade spirit stones was just a drop in the ocean for his family. Moreover, he was here to handle some matters and would not easily cause trouble. No one would dare to cause trouble here in the Green Wind sect. Chapter 188, Chapter 188, News of the 10,000-Year Heavenly Fire Liquid. Chapter 188, News of the 10,000-Year Heavenly Fire Liquid. Even he couldn't easily provoke the Green Wind sect, unless he was done with the matter. This is your token. As long as you have this token, you can enter and exit as you please. The middle-aged man handed a token to Li Lingtian and made a gesture of invitation. Li Lingtian nodded and walked straight into the city. With this cloak, no one would recognize him. This way, it would be much more convenient for him to do things. After entering the city, Li Lingtian found an inn in a quieter southern part of the city. Sir, do you need to stay or eat? When a young waiter saw Li Lingtian, he immediately went forward to greet him. He was no longer surprised by customers like Li Lingtian. "Give me a separate courtyard," Li Lingtian said coldly as he walked into the inn. "Young master, a single inn costs 10,000 low-grade spirit stones a month. Will it kill you to not talk nonsense? I was blind. Please forgive me." Soon, the young waiter brought Li Lingtian to a private courtyard. Naturally, Li Lingtian did not want to waste time with such a person. The cold aura around him made the young man's heart tremble. He didn't dare to say another word. 10,000 lower spiritual stones was nothing compared to Li Lingtian's wealth. Any random trash weapon in the Divine Dragon Ring would be worth more than 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. Li Lingtian found a room in a separate courtyard and moved into it. With a wave of his hands and a flick of his fingers, he cast a simple restriction. Now that he was a super array master, he naturally would not use other restrictions. He could repair the nation's ceiling array and also build the 9 palaces' 8 trigrams attack and defense array. Others called him a holy array master. He didn't know his own cultivation level in the array Dao, but with the knowledge of the divine array diagram, ordinary arrays wouldn't be a problem for him. With his own restrictions, it would be much safer. Although this kind of restriction could not resist the attack of an expert, it could prevent others from spying on them with their divine sense. After resting in the room for a few days, someone found the mark left by Li Lingtian. On this day, Li Lingtian was resting in the courtyard when a knock was heard on the door. His divine perception was activated and he saw a middle-aged warrior king. Li Lingtian opened the door and let the middle-aged warrior into the courtyard. He glared at the middle-aged warrior coldly. Disciple Jing Yunchao greets Pavilion Master. Jing Yunchao bowed respectfully to Li Lingtian with excitement on his face. The young man before him was a legend in Sky Dragon Empire, a figure that gave even the powerhouses of Green Province a headache. Some time ago, he had received a secret order from Sky Cloud sect to search for some rare materials. He did not expect to find the whereabouts of such materials in Linglan City. No matter which sect it was, there were always some hidden disciples in other forces, and Sky Cloud sect was no exception. Although Jing Yunchao was a martial king, he was not an elder of Sky Cloud sect. Because of his special identity, the things he did were also hidden. He had never expected Li Lingtian to come personally. He admired the young man in front of him and he was someone he admired the most. How's the 10 Millennium Seabed Frigid Ice Iron and 10 Millennium Heaven Flame Liquid? Li Lingtian sat on a chair and pointed at the chair opposite him, indicating for Jing Yunchao to sit down and talk. Although there was no change in expression on his face or any aura emanating from him, he gave off a feeling of invincibility. What he was concerned about now were 2 precious materials. These materials were extremely rare. Even if there were, no one would be willing to take them out because these materials were the main materials for refining high-level treasures. By adding these materials into the weapon's power and level could also be increased. Naturally, he would not sell such materials. Just like the 5-element spirit fruit in his hands, he naturally would not take it out to sell. Since someone was willing to take it out, it must be a rare opportunity. He naturally would not let go of such an opportunity. Pavilion Master, the 10,000-year Heavenly Fire Liquid will appear in the Linglan auction house in 3 days. It's the 10,000-year Seabed Frigid Ice Iron. We only received news that such a 10,000-year Seabed Frigid Ice Iron appeared in Baiyun Sea. Jing Yunchao told him the information he had received. It was very dangerous to ask for information in a foreign country. If he was not careful, he might be killed. Arrange for me to attend the auction. Li Lingtian pondered for a moment. Naturally, such a treasure would not appear together. It was fortunate that he was able to get the news. As long as he had information, he would have a chance to get this thing. Whether it was using spirit stones or methods, he would not hesitate. Jing Yunchao then left the inn to help Li Lingtian arrange the auction house. Such an auction would be a gathering of powerhouses and one would need countless spiritual stones to enter. However, a few spiritual stones were nothing to Sky Cloud sect, let alone something that Li Lingtian needed. At present, no one in Sky Cloud's sect was more important than Li Lingtian. Meanwhile, Li Lingtian was resting in the inn to conserve his energy before he went to the auction house to compete. In a place like Linglong City, it was not like Sky Dragon Empire where danger and competition were everywhere. On the second day, Jing Yunqiao gave Li Lingtian a token to enter the auction. Li Lingtian handed a storage pouch to Jing Yunqiao before he left. To him, no one knew how to employ people better than he did when it came to using kindness and intimidation. Inside the storage pouch were 1,000,000 low-grade spirit stones, a peerless profound armament and some 3rd and 4th grade elixirs. This wealth was enough for a martial king to not have to worry about cultivation resources for a few years. There were countless auction houses in Linglong City, but only the Linglong auction house could be considered a super auction house. Whether it was in terms of scale or the level of the treasures, it was not something that other auction houses could compare to. Those who came to participate in the auction were all super martial arts grandmasters and martial emperors. Even martial kings rarely had the chance to enter. Li Lingtian left the inn. His expression could not be seen with his cloak covering his face. Every time he was in the auction, he was the winner. In front of him, no one could defeat him with spirit stones. The money in his previous life and the spirit stones in this life were both extremely important. Without money, one could not walk, and without spirit stones, one could not cultivate. After arriving at the auction house, he flashed his token and walked in. When they entered the auction hall, there were already many martial artists inside. With a sweep of his divine sense, they were basically all martial arts grandmasters and above. The auction house could accommodate 2,000 people. After Li Lingtian found his seat, he closed his eyes to rest and waited for the auction to begin. As time passed, the number of people in the auction hall increased. Li Lingtian took a look at the warriors who had arrived. There were less than 100 martial kings, the rest were martial grandmasters, and there were even more than 30 martial emperors. Li Lingtian was shocked. In the Sky Dragon Empire, there were only 7 martial emperors in the entire empire. However, there were more than 30 martial emperors in Linglong City of the Beiyu Empire. Even if it was a martial emperor of an empire, this power was not something that a heavenly dragon could resist. 2 hours later, the doors of the auction house closed, and more than 2,000 seats were filled. After participating in the auction, he also understood that most of these warriors came to trade freely. Only a small number of people came for the treasures here. These people were also the most wealthy. Welcome to the Linglong Auction House. The Linglong Auction House opens once a month. This time, we will bring you even more surprises. 1 a.m. Hong Chengyuan, the host of today's auction. I hope that everyone will support me and prohibit fighting in the auction hall. The highest bidder will win. There were more than 2,000 people in the auction house, but there was not much noise. Chapter 189, Chapter 189, Azure Yang Pill Recipe. Chapter 189, Azure Yang Pill Recipe. Li Lingtian was surprised. The woman looked to be in her 20s, but he could not tell the depth of her cultivation base. However, the shock in his heart disappeared in a flash. There were all kinds of strange things in the divine martial continent. Some of the magical techniques and skills could hide one's cultivation. There were also countless experts in this world. Perhaps this woman was a super expert. Other than her, there were also a few martial monarch powerhouses, and they were all at the 4th or 5th level. Li Lingtian observed for a moment before closing his eyes to rest. He was waiting for the auction for the myriad-year heavenly fire elixir after the free trade. He was not interested in the other items. It was only 2 hours. For martial artists who cultivated, it was just a blink of an eye. As time passed, some martial artists began to return to the auction house. The free trade has ended. Congratulations on your fruitful return. Now, we will begin the auction for the 6th item. Hong Chengyuan shouted when he saw that all the warriors had returned. At the same time, a box appeared in his hand. The brocade box was ordinary, and he did not know what was inside. The sixth item is a pill recipe. It's a Tier 5 Azure Yang pill. This recipe requires a spirit alchemist to use. Only spirit alchemists can refine pills. The starting price is 200,000. Each increment is 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. Hong Cheng Yuan unhurriedly opened the brocade box and took out a light green pill formula jade slip from within. He began to give a simple introduction. Upon hearing a Tier 5 pill formula, all the martial artists were incomparably excited. A Tier 5 pill formula was a formula for refining Tier 5 medicinal pills. If one had this pill formula, they would have a chance to refine Tier 5 medicinal pills. What kind of existence was a 5th-grade medicinal pill? It was a medicinal pill that martial arts grandmasters and martial emperors had to use to cultivate and improve their cultivation. However, after the excitement, they were no longer excited because this pill formula was a special item for pill refiners. Moreover, it was a pill formula that could only be used by level 5 pill refiners. Is there anyone who needs this Azure Yang pill formula? I won't be polite if you take it. 210,000 low-grade spirit stones. After a while, a middle-aged, white-haired martial emperor who was at the second level of the martial emperor realm said loudly after the silence in the auction hall. It was impossible to tell whether this white-haired middle-aged man was middle-aged or old. 5th rank spirit pill master, not bad. Li Lingtian thought to himself. As a fellow alchemist, he could naturally sense the middle-aged white-haired warrior's alchemy cultivation. Who said you don't want this pill formula? It's just 210,000 low-grade spirit stones, and you want to take it. 300,000 spirit stones. After the white-haired middle-aged man called out the price, an old man said indifferently. His face was full of disdain. He was a second-level martial emperor and also a spirit alchemist. Li Lingtian began to despise him in his heart. If he were to criticize others like that, he would only raise the bid by 80,000. 310,000 low-grade spirit stones. 350,000 low-grade spirit stones. 400,000 low-grade spirit stones. The 6 or 7 alchemists were competing non-stop. The other martial arts grandmasters and martial emperors were all watching. They could not afford to offend the alchemists. Moreover, this pill formula was of no use to them, so there was naturally no need to compete. The price soared rapidly. In just a moment, the price had already reached 800,000 shipping spirit stones from the starting price of 200,000. Li Lingtian smiled faintly as he watched the alchemists compete. This price was nothing to the alchemists. They were only competing for fun. Naturally, Li Lingtian understood the true price. He would not be able to get this pill formula for less than 5 million. Moreover, this was a competition between 7 spirit alchemists. Regardless of whether it was for face or benefits, it was impossible to easily give up this pill formula. 2 million low-grade spirit stones. I'll bid. Li Lingtian shouted calmly and increased the bid by 1 million to 2 million. All the warriors turned to look at Li Lingtian, but they could not see the expression on his face. A few of the spirit alchemists were displeased. They didn't expect that other than the pill alchemists, there would be someone else competing. Wasn't this a slap to the face of the pill alchemists? 2,010,000 spirit stones. The Qinghe alchemist's face was gloomy, but he did not dare to break the rules of the auction house. He could only compete on the price. 2,020,000 low-grade spirit stones. 2,030,000 low-grade spirit stones. 2,040,000 low-grade spirit stones. 2,050,000 low-grade spirit stones. The few alchemists wore a grim smile on their faces as the price slowly rose, completely ignoring Li Lingtian. All the warriors gradually shifted their gaze away from Li Lingtian. 3 million low-grade spirit stones. Li Lingtian's voice was still calm, but it was the most eye-catching. All the warriors turned to look at Li Lingtian again. They were all shocked. Wasn't this a person going against all the spirit alchemists? 3,010,000 low-grade spirit stones. The few spirit alchemists were stunned for a moment, but after that, they began to raise the price again. 4,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. The voice was the same as before, without any emotion. However, it didn't make the other alchemists raise the price. Instead, it directly raised the price of the Qinghe alchemist. 4,010,000 low-grade spirit stones. Alchemist Hai Lin said softly. A few million spirit stones were nothing to him. They could feel that this young man in white was deliberately going against them. 5,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 5,010,000 low-grade spirit stones. 6,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 6,010,000 low-grade spirit stones. 10,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. Every time Li Lingtian raised the price to a whole number, another alchemist would add 10,000 spiritual stones. All the martial artists revealed curious looks, as if they were watching a show. An ordinary young martial arts grandmaster actually went against all the spirit alchemists. In the end, however, Li Lingtian grew impatient and raised the price to 10,000,000 lower spiritual stones. The expressions on the faces of the few spirit alchemists gradually became ugly. They could take out spirit stones, but they were constantly suppressed by an ordinary warrior, and they were unhappy. 10,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 10,000,000 to compete for a pill formula. What a big deal. The side that is actually competing with the spirit alchemist. All of a sudden, the entire auction hall was filled with discussions. 10,000,000 low-grade spirit stones was also a shocking amount of wealth. Moreover, the person who raised the bid to 10,000,000 was not an alchemist, but an ordinary martial artist. 11,000,000. Alchemist Immense Forest pondered for a moment and was also angered. He directly increased the bid by 1,000,000. 12,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. The Qinghe alchemist was startled. He thought that there was some trick in the middle. If the Hai Lin alchemist took the pill formula, he would lose face and suffer a great loss. 13,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 20,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. Another spirit alchemist raised the bid. After that, Li Lingtian raised the bid again and the price was raised to 20,000,000. In the auction hall, there was a wave of shock. Was this young martial artist crazy? Not to mention spirit stones, just offending a spirit pill master was not a wise move. 21,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 30,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 31,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 40,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 41,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 50,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 51,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. 80,000,000 low-grade spirit stones. For a moment, all the experts in the auction hall were stunned. Was this still a competition? It was clearly a huge battle. Using spirit stones to fight, a few spirit alchemists and an ordinary warrior were using spirit stones to fight. When Li Lingtian shouted out 80,000,000 lower spiritual stones, the 7 spirit alchemists stopped. They had a strange expression on their faces as they glared at Li Lingtian. 80,000,000 lower spiritual stones was a year's income even for a large sect. However, this 80,000,000 was actually used by a young man to compete for a Tier 5 Azure Yang pill formula. There were only a few people present who could take out 80,000,000 low-grade spirit stones, unless they were a few spirit alchemists and a few super martial emperors. However, even if he used 80,000,000 to buy this pill formula, he wouldn't be able to earn any spirit stones when he returned. Instead, he wouldn't have any spirit stones to buy herbs. Moreover, 80,000,000 was only the young man's bid. Who knew if there would be more bids after that? 80,000,000 lower spiritual stones, going once. 80,000,000 low-grade spirit stones going twice. 80,000,000 lower spiritual stones, going 3 times. Anyone else? Congratulations to Sir number 1165 for obtaining a Tier 5 Azure Yang pill formula. Hong Qingyuan paused for a moment, and finally began to ask the martial artists below if they needed to raise the price. His main gaze was still on the few spirit alchemists. The hammer fell, and 80 million low-grade spirit stones were sold. A young lady brought the brocade box to Li Lingtian. Li Lingtian scanned it with his divine perception and entered the pill formula. He finally confirmed that it was a genuine grade 5 Azure Yang pill formula. Countless warriors were shocked. Initially, they thought that Li Lingtian was just playing around. They did not expect that he would actually buy the pill formula for 80 million. Now, seeing Li Lingtian skillfully use his divine consciousness to check the pill formula, he quickly realized that the mysterious young man before him was also an alchemist and a very powerful one at that. Take 80 million low-grade spirit stones. Li Lingtian kept the pill formula and activated his divine consciousness in the divine dragon ring. Finally, he handed a storage pouch to the other party. 80 million low-grade spirit stones was already very shocking. However, in his opinion, no matter what item it was, as long as it was useful to him, it was worth it no matter how many spirit stones he spent. This was because spirit stones were meant to be used. If they were kept on them, they would be a pile of trash. If he wanted to use spirit stones, it was very simple. He just had to sell the spirit weapons and profound level weapons in the divine dragon ring. Moreover, he had mastered a rule. Every time he obtained treasures and wealth, someone would come forward to die. Since there was competition, there would be people targeting him. Those who targeted him were all courting death. The wealth of a person who was going to die was naturally not to be wasted. He was also using the wealth of a person who was going to die to compete. Why would he not be happy about such a thing? Next, the 7th item is a middle-grade Emperor weapon, Mystic Moon Slash. It's a wood elemental Mystic Moon Slash. I won't talk about its power anymore. The starting price is 300,000, and each increase is 10,000. Hong Chengyuan's face was filled with excitement. Originally, this pill formula was only worth a few million, but he didn't expect it to be auctioned off for tens of times the price. You're tuning into the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.